good evening or good afternoon, depending on where you are in the world. It's LPL Pro Season 3 and it's Rainbow Six Siege. Once again, I'm Matt Smite Ross. My partner in crime, Cthulu, is going to be here once again tonight as we are into day number 2 of week 4.
Yes, day number 2 indeed. We had some bangers of matchups yesterday. Some very unexpected scorelines within the maps, but fairly expected scorelines though overall between some of the teams.
Yeah, it's definitely putting our leaderboard into a pretty fun little spot as well, but we did get the expected results. But guys, we'd like to catch everyone up on how things work around here at the start of the show, and we're going to do that again tonight. So, just to tell you how things work around here, it is a round robin. We've got 8 teams, and of course, everyone plays each other once, so it's going to take 7 weeks to get through all of those matches, and they are best of 2. And then, at the end of all that, we're going to take the top 4 teams, put them into playoffs, and put them into the elimination bracket, Cthulhu, where things, well, they change up there, don't they?
Oh yeah, they sure do. The top 4 teams will be battling it out for the very sweet prize pool. First place will be there for $3,000 to be taken, $1,000 for the second place, and well, third and fourth place will be getting themselves $500 each, which not a bad incentive really to play around.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, look, it makes it a lot more fun because once again, we get to squeeze about 5 teams trying to fit into the top 4 for those prizes. But there are a few other ways for players to pick up a little bit of extra cash. One of those ways is one of the newest awards. It's the Vodafone Mvp Award. This one's just going to go out to all the best players you love to have on your team, the best ones that show up in solo queue, or no matter where you are, even if it's just casual, right? The best player. But tonight in LPL Pro, and in fact across all the games as well, the MVP will be taking away an extra $250 at the end of the season. So, pretty sweet way to shine like a star individually.
Yes, definitely. We will be rewarding and, well, voting for some of the flashier plays that some of the teams, some of the players do perform throughout all of the play days that we've already so far seen and will be seeing tonight and the further weeks. But, look, there are still a few more things that are quite neato that have been just freshly introduced as well.
We are not done just yet. We've got a few more ways for some cash to be given out and some Red Bull as well. This one's the Red Bull fan vote. So it's kind of like MVP, except this one, it's you guys voting. And the players with the top 4 amount of votes will all win a year's supply of Red Bull, an extra $500, and also a Red Bull fridge to put all that Red Bull in. And we're not just done yet either. How do the viewers win, Cthulhu?
Oh yeah, well, viewers can also win out a year's supply worth of Red Bull as well by participating in the voting as well, and so random 4 viewers will be picked, and well, minus the Red Bull fridge. I mean, a year's supply worth of Red Bull, that's still pretty neato, gotta say.
Oh, it's a lot of Red Bull. I mean, we've already got quite a bit at home,
yes.
And you know, we're still going through it. So a year's supply must be pretty insane. So to do that, !vote in the chat, and you can find out how to go in the draw for that one as well. But one more thing we want to touch on as well, we've had the Esports Assessment Labs join up as well to partner up, and well, it's a whole lot of fun to do this one as well, especially if you want to get into the competitive scene, and especially in a game. Rainbow Six. Oh gosh. I personally did this test and I scored better than 60% of gamers, apparently. I guess that makes me pretty good, right?
That's a pretty good score, yeah, gotta say, Smite.
All right, so there you go, guys. See me on PC 419 next season. I'll definitely be jumping on that one. Unless they lose their match today, then they won't be top of the leaderboard.
Oh.
Then I won't be joining them. Sorry, guys. But of course, that is how you can do that one. You've got !EAL in the Twitch chat to find out more, and you can use our free code LPL Gaming, all caps, no spaces, to try it out for free yourself. So go ahead, give it a look, see where you can fit in the esports scene, or maybe just, you know, if you're better than your mates. Because really, at the end of the day, that's all a lot of people care about. Personally, I'm a little bit the same. But let's talk about what we saw last night, Cthulhu, because you said we had some expected results, but those scorelines told a different story.
Yeah, look, scorelines were definitely absolutely nuts. The first matchup was Ferox versus Shadownet. That was a pretty interesting one. Clubhouse went somewhat as we expected. It was a 7-4 scoreline in favor of Ferox, but it was still a very good showcase by Shadownet, I gotta say, especially given the fact that they had brought in on board what I'm assuming is still a sub, that is Levi.
Oh, I hope he sticks around.
I hope he sticks around because, yeah, he was one of the MVP players throughout that whole matchup for me, especially on map number 2.
Yeah, and it's quite rare to get the losing team to get an MVP on that one, but
yes,
definitely a standout performance from the man from Shadownet. Check them out on Armageddon this weekend as well, but it was Ferox to take the 2-0. A much needed 2-0. for the team who was sitting in the middle of the leaderboard, and now they've shot up, and they're in the top 4 now.
Correct, yes. The end win on Villa was at the final round of the overtime. 8-7 was the final scoreline, but my goodness, that was a very nuts performance from them. But we also seen a pretty interesting matchup between, Elemental and Bans, which was a very close one as well. We just seeing the conclusion of the final few rounds there between Ferox and Shadownet. But look, Bans Elemental was a very interesting match, to say at the very least. We've seen some rounds swing back and forth in a matter of just 10 seconds.
Yeah, look, the score on this one swung harder than the Ashe in your solo queue, right? It went one way first, Elemental took the lead, then it was Bants coming back, and then Elemental steals a win, and then to top it all off, of course, it's going to be a draw in the series too. So both of these teams really wanted to score that 2-0, but unfortunately for them, they're going to keep each other both kind of near the bottom of the leaderboard with the draw.
Yeah, I mean, the big play was that 3K by Tracy. I believe a quad kill there.
Saving the round as well.
And saving the round. Yes, yeah, saving the round definitely there for himself and scoring that first map win for Ban. So, now, honestly, Tracy, like JKM did say, he's cracked.
And this is where it ends up, right? This is what we care about, where the leaderboard is. Of course, only one night into week 4, so some of these teams have played one game less. But, as you can see, Ferox have shot up from the middle of the pack, now in top 3, actually tied with some of the teams in the first place spot. Of course, as well, unfortunately, Shadownet not able to move forward anymore. And then Ban Elemental, they retain their spot, but they both gain an additional point. So technically, they're now tied with Skyfire.
Yeah, being tied with Skyfire is a very interesting situation here for both Elemental and Bans. But tonight's matches are actually going to be the ones that will shape up the leaderboard probably even further than yesterday, because a fair few storylines also have been forming up so far.
Well, let's waste no more time and start talking about these matches, because like you said, it's going to really shape out the leaderboard. I know we say this actually quite a few weeks in a row, but this one is actually it's actually going to give us some real questions answered, right? You've got first place versus, well, in fact, it's actually just first tied playing against each other today in Ferox versus PC419. Sorry, Rafflecopter versus PC419. Yeah, Ferox played last night, but they're also tied first.
Yes.
But we're going to find out if it's going to be Rafflecopter or PC419 to take the first place spot. But then in the second match tonight, where you've got Exto versus Skyfire, that's also going to decide, 4th versus 5th. And that's an important slot too, because that's playoffs.
Correct, yeah. And as a matter of fact, in a certain circumstance, Exto could actually be also looking at potentially getting themselves the top place as well. Because, say, Rafflecopter and PC419 do draw out, Exto, if they get a 2-0, they will shoot themselves up on the first place as well, which could be a huge thing as well for them. But look, I'm just excited for both of these matchups.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're going to find out, if Exto can even do that by finding out what happens in the first match. We've got to find out if it will be a draw, so let's zoom in on that one a little bit. So first up, it's going to be Rafflecopter taking the stage, and these guys, the team might be newer name in the season, but a lot of these player names have been around for a while.
Yeah, look. Right now, big eyes set on Boydie. The man is an absolute just nuts player. Same as Campo. He was probably one of the big MVPs for a fair few times from a few of the games from Rafflecopter. Deptra, Wormoj, and Rigba as well to follow up. Those guys are absolutely nuts with some of their plays, and they really gel really well there for themselves. So, gotta say, the whole roster excellently sorted so far.
Yeah, I mean, look, they've got some tough opponents tonight, so they're going to need it, because they're going up against PC419, who are coming in with not a single hair on the top of their heads. It's just such a strong lineup. Shaq, the addition of this man, I think has just done wonders for the team.
Oh, yeah. Shaq has been a very interesting addition initially when he was first introduced to the PC419 roster, given that he, previously to him joining that team, has taken quite a hiatus from Siege as well, and then making a return probably better than ever, really.
Yeah, look, no stress from these guys as well. So let's talk about on an individual level, Cthulhu. Let's talk about the key player matchup, because this one, it should mean a lot. It's Campo versus Pun. Campo coming out, really impressing us a few weeks ago. Pun has consistently impressed us over several weeks throughout the season.
Yes.
So when we put them up against each other right now, what does it look like?
Look, I gotta say, this is probably going to be a very even matchup for once. Usually we would compare, say, duos against a single player. This time, between these two players, they can pop off on a solo level and quite drastically change the flow of the round in a matter of literally 1 or 2 frags. Campo is the great example of that. He's the man who's always on the roam. He is the big flex and sometimes even the entry fragger for Rufflecopter, whereas for PC419, Pan is usually he's usually stuck in those either a very odd situation, whereas in the clutch situation, 1v3s, 1v2s, or he's the first person to lead the charge here.
Well, they're going to have to lead the charge because, like you said, like I said, this is the battle for first place. This could very much just leave you there for the rest of the round robin, keep you in that first seed for the playoffs, which could be incredibly important come time when we get to the playoffs. So this match means so much. And to find out what the team felt before getting into this match that means so much, we did catch up with Rufflecopter.
Yeah, we're pretty confident heading into all of our matchups. If we can play the way that we know we can play, they'd probably be like one of the better teams in the competition for sure. So we give them that respect and we'll go in pretty confident, but we know they're not too bad a team. I don't see any like weaknesses as such, but I do think that like when it comes down to it, our players are better than their players. I played alongside Punisher 2 years ago, so he's a very experienced player. He's been around for a long time, competing at a pretty high level. It was good to learn a couple of things off him, but yeah, that doesn't really bother me or faze me going into our matchup with them. We just be able to win our gunfights and all that kind of stuff, and everything else will fall into place.
All right. Okay, so feeling pretty good about this one, but I mean, you kind of have to be. You kind of need to go in with some pretty good confidence for what you might need to be a 2-0.
Yeah, it needs to be, well, for either one of the teams, it will need to be a 2-0. I don't think both PC419 or Rufflecopter will really be keen to settle for a draw here. And like OJ said, I mean, he pays respect to the players that he played with. He knows the whole roster is pretty experienced. Pun, namely, that he pointed out as well. He has a great experience from nearly the very beginning of the APAC competitive scene as well. So, yeah. He is still feeling pretty confident, OJ. He wants to win this out. He knows he will potentially win this out. So, look, at this point, it's a matter of time before we will crown the winner of this matchup. But before we even touch up any further, we still also have something else to really talk about.
Yes, we do. We need to jump in and find out where we're going. We're going to find out the maps. So first up, it's going to be, I believe, Clubhouse picked up by Rufflecopter, and then Consulate picked up by their opponents, PC419. So let's go into this first map here. Cthulu, it's Clubhouse. We see it all the time. Teams love to pick it. So tonight, what's Rufflecopter doing? Why are they picking this one up first? What would make them win?
I think this is one of the kind of, I suppose, one of the maps that they now kind of switching over from Oregon. They showed a great Oregon in the first half. They've managed to get themselves some really good scorelines, but now there's just too much of the VOD material there against them. So now they're switching over to the Clubhouse, I believe. They have been prepping it a fair few times. They did mention it after the first week when they had to play with a sub as well, that their Clubhouse, they are confident on it, but because they back then had to play with the coach, they couldn't really do a whole lot of things there. So now that they are back and play full squad, I reckon they just might have all the needed advantages for themselves. Now, Consulate, I feel like it's one of those kind of maps that is slowly turning to one of those less picked, less trained maps where some of the higher end teams could really fall, but maybe this is where PC419 could really use this to their advantage, because if they have been training it, this could be their stomping ground.
Yeah, so are they looking for maybe the surprise factor with Consulate? We barely ever see this map.
Yes, I definitely think the surprise factor is going to be at least to a partial degree in effect here, and it's going to be more so for a question, can Rufflecopter really go for that counterplay? Because at least from what I heard from them, or rather according to rumors, they still keeping their full power until some of the higher end matches, like the relegations, like the play. So we may be seeing some more of the kind of pug style plays. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just being bamboozled that they will just bust out all the strat books. Well, we'll have to see. But honestly, I'm just keen for that matchup, because this time it's two Goliaths that will be colliding instead of just having the usual kind of the top dog versus the underdog story.
Yeah, but I mean, it's even a little bit more than that because you've got, on the one hand, PC419, who, 3 seasons in a row, for the first 2 seasons, they had high hope, not such great results. However, this time they're doing great. They're winning the matches they're supposed to. They're consistently getting those wins, and as you can see, they're at the top of the leaderboard. On the other side, though, you got Rufflecopter, who are literally a new team, even if it's a few familiar players. They're coming in and they just want to do the best they can on the very first season they're playing in.
Yeah, look, this could be the great moment here for PC419. They're finally kind of looking really, really confident about their plays, about their roster. They're finally nailing down their chemistry here. So this is the PC419 that we probably should have seen right at the beginning of Season 1, or rather what we were expecting from them starting from Season 1. So this is it. This is the big one for them. Because if they do end up beating Rufflecopter, pushing themselves in the top position, they're already guaranteeing themselves a pretty solid performance. And I believe this will be one of their tougher games. Up next, I think the next tougher one will be the Skyfire game.
Yep.
And after that, it's going to be Bans and Shadownet remaining. So there's only technically one more tough opponent, hard match. Theoretically. We say that theoretically, but already Bans has shown us some really good performance.
And Shadownet too.
And Shadownet as well has shown us some great performance. But I think against PC419, I would still be expecting that PC419 will be the one to come out victorious.
Yeah, well, just an update, guys. We're getting all the players into the lobby. A few players just driving home real late, I believe. I'm not exactly sure the situation, but you guys know how it is. So while we're just waiting, because I believe they're just tucking in now, new patch, Cthulhu.
New patch, yes.
New patch, right? So a whole lot of things have changed. I think the operators that we're probably going to see the biggest difference in are the shield ops.
The shield ops and the ace, actually, as a matter of fact.
Too,
Ace did get a pretty, noticeable nerf. Instead of the 3 ticks of his helmet charges, it's going to be 2. And yeah, the shields are definitely going to be the biggest change, because now there's the guard break hole animation, and Clash, out of all the operators, is now becoming the main counterplay against both Monty and Blitz, being herself the only defensive shield operator as well. So it's certainly going to be interesting to see whether we are going to be seeing a whole lot of Clash picks tonight. Maybe not, but one way or another, there is now a full-blown way to counter the great menacing French mountain, or rather the speedy Blitz.
Yeah, no longer are the days where you can just walk up and not be able to punch him in the face. You can punch him in the face all you like now, but more importantly, there are actual counters to that operator now. Very big ones, I might say. So you might see him a whole lot less. I guess we'll have to find out, because we're into game number 1. We're here. The players have gotten to the lobby, and it's Rufflecopter versus PC419 here. So let's get into that ban phase.
Indeed, ban phase. Rufflecopter to kick things off on attack here as well, which is going to be a very interesting thing to happen. Usually, I would imagine that Rufflecopter would be a pretty decent idea to have themselves on defense first, but instead, no. PC419 are on defense, and the first ban from PC419 is going to be Hibana. That will be out of the equation. So up next is going to be Rufflecopter banning their first attack and then their defense, and that is going to be Maverick, which is certainly now setting up a very interesting thing for, for attack, because not only you don't have the Hibana anymore to kind of adjust for all your mistakes. Ace is still going to be present, Thatcher is still present, as well as that the Thermite is going to be present. So technically you have only 2 main hard breaches, plus all of the operators that still have the secondary hard breach. So with Mira now being out of the equation, it is going to be a ban of Wamai as well. And well, there we go. It is going to be the end of the ban phase, which is partially unusual, but also at the same time fairly understandable, I suppose. That would be the right way to really call it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think the fun thing as well is got to be the hard breach bans. You've got Hibana and Maverick off the table. Like you said, there's now a lot more holes that, can be filled with that. Your secondary breach. Ace, obviously, is still going to be able to jump into those hatches. So they're not completely locked out of everything, but it definitely changes things up just a little bit as we jump into Clubhouse. I always love how the bans can change Clubhouse so much. So much Cthulhu, but it's going to be Church and Arsenal. I think this one is where we might feel it, where you have to use Ace. You know, you don't get to use the Hibana to just easily open those hatches.
Yeah, it's going to be Ace who will be needing to use two of his on one of the hatches, and then possibly one of the Selmas to say breach the what's it called, the dirt tunnel. Possibly, because one of the thermites then will need to go onto the memorial hatch, and after that, well, you're left with one more thermite charge. So, theoretically, the hard breach economy is still going to be fairly strong. It's more so just, now you cannot really afford to lose, say, one of your hard breaches if you want still the abundance of breaching potential.
Alright, it's going to be all about breaching their way below for Rufflecopter to jump in on round number 1 on attack. We've got the sledge, so they're going to have the option to open up the hallway, as always, drop down the nades, find the kills. Deptra, he's still looking for that hot game. He's still looking for that match that he just pops off in Season 3. I'm keen for it too, because we saw a lot of it in Season 3. I want to see if it comes out again, because Deptra's such a star player.
Yeah, Deptra has been seeing a fair few really good performances for himself. He's been either able to consistently just keep up his KD to just keep pushing his team, but right now he's actually playing a very kind of almost a solo role of just trying to clear it out for himself whilst also just applying all the right pressure, I suppose, because OJ will be actually quite cautious before even deciding to really approach that breachable floor, or rather the kitchen as well.
Yeah, you never want to get hit by the shots from below. You lose your toes. Not to mention just the amount of C4 kills we saw last night. Probably going to be playing on the minds of a few players, but here's Vlad. He's being droned out a little bit. This could be the first little battle we've got, but Vlad, he's going to get out of there, trying to get a kill from below, but they're expecting it, but maybe not enough, as he takes Deptra out of here with first blood.
There it is, yeah. Deptra unfortunately couldn't really connect any shots onto Vlad. At the very least, the only solace there is the fact that Vlad is now going to be hurting and missing half of his health pool. But that wouldn't really stop him from really swinging anywhere, and right now this does force Boydie to actually keep on watching that hallway to see if there's going to be any further pushes from there, and apart from that, really, it's just attempts at really going in for the breach, which Tesla should be able to prevent with 2 of his impact grenades.
There's one. We'll protect that breach. They're opening this floor up quite a lot though, so he's not going to be able to sit in there forever. Looks like this one should do the trick and open up the hatch. Or at least this one's going to do it. We'll just throw the whole thermite charge on it, get the door open eventually, but now we've got a minute to go to drop on down. You've only got 4. Deptra's been taken out of the picture. Campo is in a pretty decent little spot. He's got some great lines of sight, but in a bit of danger himself if they're not looking at the right moment though. He's being real ambitious with a lot of these peeks around the corner. Some shots come out, almost whiz by his head, but he keeps it on for now. But here it is, 30 seconds are left. We've got Shaq, all his gas grenades are remaining, so he can start chucking them out. Deny 2 people out of the tunnel right now. They're gonna have about 10 seconds to go in. He's just gonna go instead. Doesn't need the gas grenades, but maybe he did. Rigba will get that kill. Now the next ones are coming out, as it's got to be the Rufflecopter push. Now or never. Tesla falls, but it's kills all over the place. Vlad on almost nothing. Boydie has to save it, but Boydie can't save it. And Rufflecopter will drop in round number 1. PC419 picking that one up.
PC doing some really good job there on holding, although it did look for a short brief moment that PC419 could have really ran out of all of their human resources and couldn't really defend, but hey, they still kept up the man count. Amongst all of that bloodbath, they still were able to keep control of what I'm guessing is the church, and that was the main place where really the remainder of the defenders were able to really hold up and, well, keep on their positions, because well, Rufflecopter did waste quite a fair bit of time to try to get the breaches going, and really, apart from that kitchen hatch breach, they didn't really do a whole lot of advancement. They've made some push happen in the dirt tunnel, but that was a little bit too late, it feels.
Yeah, but it was almost their ticket back in, I want to say, because Shaq, he went down, they rushed past, they actually got quite a lot of kills off it, so kind of shows how important it is to just hold that one spot as long as you possibly can, or at least pick up the kills. But here we go, upstairs now, a bit of change of pace. as we hit up CCTV, a fan favorite, my favorite site personally. Do you have a favorite site, Cthulhu? Like, across all maps?
Across all maps, ooh. I'd probably have to say maybe the renewed kids' bedroom on Oregon.
Oh yeah.
For the sheer fact that you can actually have a really nice long angle from the kids' bedroom right onto the Arsenal stairs.
Yeah, you made a video on this today.
I didn't actually make a video on that, but it is so far it has worked out for me pretty much all the time. So I'm not complaining. Well, probably the moment people will see me, they will be expecting that. But yeah, well, for now I'll just keep it as it is. That angle is kind of nuts sometimes.
Okay, well, we get to stick on my favorite site. We don't have the, nothing crazy, it's just like that, but of course this site's been played around a whole lot of times. People know this one like the back of their hand. This is a good little bit of droning. Oh, gets spot out right at the end. Poor OJ, but he's going to go for the first charge with the EMP. Is it going to be disabled? Doesn't look like it at all. No, mute tricking a little bit too hard.
Yeah, breach will be successful. Unfortunately, the kite trick didn't really work out there at all, but that just means that there's going to be, the place to make the entry. There's still a very large crossfire to be contested against, but Vladar is already out of that equation thanks to Boydie. Take off the construction site could be a very huge thing, but they need to be very certain about being able to take some of those gunfights, because otherwise they might be looking at a very unfortunate outcome. It seems that Tesla is really looking forward to going for a run out and could potentially find a shot on Kempo, but instead it's Steffi that actually just peeks out, gets that kill, and well, calls it a day really.
Probably could have just been trying to draw the attention over to the door being cracked open, but hey, very brave now, and he gets it just by stepping out, so Steffi will clean that one up. Could be the ticket back in, because you look at the health bars, Rufflecopter have enough time to make this work pretty well. They've made some excellent progress already. Unsees the drone. Is he going to go for the shot or just try and stay safe? And now goes for the peek, goes for the shot. The position might be a little bit compromised. He does not have a lot of room to go around. Has to go in for the peek. Gets it. And he'll drop as well though. However, Rufflecopter, still a minute to get in here. Oh, what a shot from Deptra. He gets that one, but it's still just a trade. And it doesn't matter. It's Rufflecopter. They come in there and get all the defenders out of there. We got around a piece, Cthulhu.
Yeah, there we go. Deptra, although it was still a 1v1 situation at the end, was still able to really nail his shots. That was a very nice play from him, and a good decision from Rufflecopter as well to just attempt to take control of the construction site and, well, start applying the pressure from there, given the fact that they didn't really go for a whole lot of effort to try to take control of the garage or go for the conventional way of pushing through the breach. Instead, completely changed the the direction of where the main push is happening, and, well, that kind of gave them the needed rewards, really. But we are going to be seeing, though, instead, a retry of CCTV, given that, well, like I mentioned, it was a pretty close scoreline before the conclusion of round number 2. It was a 1-1.
Defenders protect
So,
bombs from being defused by attackers.
maybe PC419 will be able to do something different here and maybe put the round count in their advantage again.
Yeah, the thing is that Vlad actually got taken out pretty early, so he couldn't either sit around defending the garage if he really wanted to, or, go for any roaming pretty hard later on if he had that option too. He got flushed out real early is what I'm getting at, so that could be the one small difference. If PC419 can work that one out, then there's no reason they shouldn't be able to defend the site, like you said, pretty close. So, even with the small differences in how Rufflecopter approached this site, like you said, the push being just quite different to usual teams, then I still think PC419, now that they're ready, the surprise factor's kind of gone. They should be a little more prepared for this retry.
I think it's more so right now. PC419 might be a little bit puzzled about how do they want to really approach their defense, because the way how things been going right now, Rufflecopter were looking a little bit more unpredictable. They were going for more so just contesting those gunfights rather than having any specific setups, or rather just going for, hey, I'm gonna time this at this specific moment. No, it's just go push, go get the kills, and, well, not die, make back.
And Deptra gonna enter on in. not too dangerous, at least for now. He's got a little bit of... Oh, what a good bullet hole. What a good little murder hole. See you later, Steffi T. That's the Deptra revenge we were waiting for. That's the kind of plays I like to see. Good timing as well.
That was a good timing, yeah. We've seen some good timings from yesterday games as well, but this is already getting some consistent play. Boydie, Boydie just got downed. I'm not too sure what has happened with our feed, but we shall continue the coverage in just a short, brief few moments. But hey, we might be making a bit of a return back to us. That is, if we are even still live right now. But hey, let's quickly go back to us as
Well, I think it's the whole thing, Cthulhu.
I think it's the whole thing. Yes, Smite. Right now it's just thing is frozen. Door stuck.
Door very stuck. Man, it's happening again, Cthulhu. We're in the middle of a good match. We've got 1-1. We're summoning help right now, guys, so don't worry. We're going to be fixing the stream any second now, and then we're getting right back into it. Of course, we want to see this resolved just as much as you did, especially after what we saw pulled out by Deptra. But like we said, obviously tech issues. Not even sure if you guys can hear us right now. But of course, we're going to be bringing you through Radio Rainbow 6. It's the LPL Pro radio station where, well, I guess we can't even commentate the content because we can't see it. So we're going to look at the picture because presumably you guys are still seeing it. But if not, I'll describe it for you. Don't worry. We've got Boydie who's been just downed. And then other than that, it's really just Steffi T who got his head ripped off by Deptra. I imagine the round's already kind of completed.
I would imagine so, yeah. Well, hopefully at the very least we managed to catch the Deptra's peak onto...
I think we definitely got that.
Yeah, at the very least we got that, so that's definitely going into the highlights. But hey, hopefully things will get fixed in a moment. Hopefully we are going to be back in a little bit because yeah, look, technical difficulties. That's a thing that we unfortunately have to battle with the even during COVID. But
yeah. That's you know, it's still something that affects us, and you know, tech issues, they do happen. We have now summoned the wizards that have, you know, they appear to have fixed all of our issues. So in the sake of assuming that we're live, 30 seconds to go. And whoa, what happened already? Rufflecopter already won a round, so this is the round afterwards, I think. Yeah, this must be the round afterwards. So
Rufflecopter has already won out their round, and we are now moving over to the gym. No, wait, pardon, not gym bedroom. Wait, hold up a sec. They're playing church, but they're reinforcing up above.
10 seconds
Interesting.
remaining.
But nonetheless, I'll take that. But, well, with that said, CCTV did go into the hands of Rufflecopter. Unfortunately, we couldn't see what was the end result, but
Locate a bomb and defuse
either way, round number 4 shall continue.
yeah, that's the good thing about Siege, Cthulhu, is that even if you miss one round, we at least have a whole bunch more. So no big deal. But let's find out what's going on with this odd choice of reinforcements coming out from PC419. But it's still Church and Arsenal, so we still have to see Rufflecopter find a way downstairs. And like we were talking about during the bans, the hard-breaching bans have made it just a little bit awkward. You've got to do things like Ace, things like Thermite. Luckily, you do have Thatcher to back you up. He's going to be a total G and get rid of those Kaid Electro Claws, because Shaq is definitely going to be on point with those. Has made some fantastic impact tricks throughout tonight as well. So, you know, if we see more of those, then they could shut Rufflecopter out and bring it to 2-2.
Yeah, well, this could be a pretty big play if PC419 is able to make a comeback here. But look, for now it's only been 3 rounds, so maybe a little bit too early to say. Vlad looks like he might need to keep up his roaming because he's about to run into Campo, who's looking a little bit angry and, well, quite keen to have his sights trained on that main staircase, which actually was a pretty good indication for Vlad to start bailing out. There's already Tesla finding a shot onto OJ as well. He's still continuing to actually roam around in kitchen, and I don't think the call has actually came out. There's already the shot, but Deptra is just too sharp. He's ready to frag out and is able to trade out his Thermite for the Melusi.
Yeah, but I mean, they really needed to get that kill back, so at least Rufflecopter can still find a way in this, down to just Rigbert for those breaches. They really need to protect this man. They've got one hatch open, which is great, but you really want that kitchen hatch. You really want to find a way to get that one open. This one won't do the job. However, it is going to give Rigbert some pretty great little lines of sight. However, Shaq, he doesn't need a line of sight. He listens to the soft pitter-patter of your footsteps to throw that C4 out.
Rightfully so, will be claiming the frag for himself. Pun is still hanging around in the blue tunnel, which should provide some more cover, but right now Rigbert is not even planning to really assault the blue tunnel. Instead, just full frontal assault here to try to push the church, and actually that would be a pretty neato idea here, given the fact how much wall is being opened up. And well, there's a AK-12 that will be ripping up. Another one for Vlad, though, gets a double as well, and now Boydie is the last man standing, does find that shot onto Vlad to find some revenge, but 1v2 situation in a matter of 23 seconds, still very clutchable. Tags up Pun, goes in to try to shot, goes in for this, gets him down. Can he find the Pun now? Because right now he claims the shot, needs to retrieve that diffuser as well, but right now the push and the run straight over to the site will be there. Needs to go in for the site, for the plant, runs in, and just at the worst possible moment decides to pull out the EMP grenade for Pun to finish him off.
Oh, it always feels bad at the end when that happens, but hey, look, it happens to all of us. You pull out the wrong thing just at the moment they turn around the corner, just the wrong time. Yeah, I know. I tried to move past it, but it happens. So
it happens.
It happens. It happens to all of us, right? So, look, we've tied up the series. It's now 2-2. This is definitely looking like the top of the table kind of clash we were really looking for, where they really are going at it against each other. We're seeing some interesting strategies for sure. Yes. You have a great big smile on your face.
Look,
You're loving it.
Hey, why not? I'm loving the whole match as it is. I'm just vibing with that match, really, Smite. Just trying to enjoy all the cool peaks by all the cool kids, really. But no, in all seriousness, Rufflecopter did have a pretty good attempt. Boydie once again just decided to pop off there for the team and tried to clutch it out, but just couldn't really nail the shots. Unfortunately, was being in a little bit of too much of a hurry, and well, that pretty much was his demise there. But maybe the CCTV push once again will net Rufflecopter the wins, because so far, as funny as it sounds, Rufflecopter were only able to win on just CCTV, while PC419 only won on charge.
Well, why not bring out CCTV again? Give Rufflecopter another round maybe, but hey, they get to try it one more time. Shaq, it's been on and off throughout these rounds tonight, but let's see if he can get an on round here. He's got some great little black eye spots as well, so his position on the stairs is going to be pretty easy to hold if he wants to. You got two people in the garage here, unless, yeah, no, Vlad's just going to get out of there. It'll instead be the Malusi. Tesla going to be sticking around up on the rafters. Just a few ADS to look after him, but hey, look, you know, when you don't have the Wamai, you'll take whatever you can get. But here we go, into the CCTV door.
Yeah, right now, Rufflecopter are looking at a little bit of a predicament. Ooh. They can't really drone it out, so thanks EMP, they will be able to see that. No kite tricking, funnily enough, so easily just get the breach going and, well, go hard straight after that. There is a very interesting hole that is actually being opened up by Pun and Steffi as well, but no attempts at the run out just yet. So maybe Tesla later down the line will be able to go for that run out and get the frag, because Campo is looking directly down at that doorway and, well, can't find anything just yet. Might be a gunfight between Deptra and Vlad, who currently just about to run into each one another. Maybe, that's a big maybe, but full control at the very least of the master bedroom, which should allow yet another foothold for the push.
Yeah, now we're getting the final bits of droning going down as well. You can see how careful Rufflecopter are being with this, watching all the runouts as well. Now Deptra trying to get a pretty long angle down the hall, seeing if he can find it. But Vlad, just those shots, he kind of notifying everyone where he is, so he might be in a bit of trouble. That drone is going to spot him as well. He's backing right out of here, trying to get anything he can on the way out, back over to the other side. He can rotate pretty easily if he needs to. Campo, though, he's finally rewarded for looking for the site, but oh no, it was a team effort. A flank. Steffi again from above, still running back inside, somehow alive. Trying to make the holes to just get back into the site. Has Vlad to back him up. Is waiting for the window for the push. That's an early smoke. He sees him through the hole, and we'll pick that one up. Meanwhile, there's also a C4 kill. So Rufflecopter are in shambles right now. Just Rigbert left.
Yeah, this is a devastating loss here in this round here against PC419 for Rufflecopter. They are being deconstructed one by one. All of those gunfights being completely shut down. But Rigbert at the very least won't be allowing the flawless round here. We'll be trying to find a few shots and peaks here, but unfortunately right now being slowed down by those gas grenades. Another smoke grenade will be coming out from him rather instead of trying to cut out a few of the gunfight angles. And well, we'll be walking right into one of the pre-fires from Steffi, and yet again, it's PC419 now in the lead.
But there we go. They get a CCTV. They finally pick one up there and, well, put themselves in the lead like you just mentioned. So they're feeling pretty good on that one. They want to walk out of this half on the defense with that score of 4. They would love to pick that one up, but they've got to go back to the gym and the bedroom here. They've been avoiding the site for a little while, Cthulhu. So here we go back at it, see if they can hold it off for one more time. Oyo is going to join the party now, as well as Legion. So a lot of annoying little traps around the place. You're going to have to stop to pull the goo mines out, deal with the Vulcan shields, or maybe not Vulcan shields.
I'm curious what will Tesla pick, because for Deptra, really, yeah, playing on Iana wasn't really the best idea, given that Rufflecopter do really need a soft breacher. Alibi pick instead is, well, it's a bait. Theoretically, it's a bait for a bait pick, because whilst Goyo essentially baits for the breaching utility to try to, well, for the try to get the attackers to blow up the shield, the defense will, or rather the offense will need more of those throwables essentially to get rid of that, and maybe have a few of the a few more ways to really breach through the walls. Alibi's pick is more so just information gathering through those pre-fires, because we know how some of the teams do love their pre-fires through the walls, and if you position those alibi prismas at a certain angle, at a certain position, you just might be able to net yourself a few good pings to know exactly where to pre-fire, or rather run out to.
Those times when you have to shoot the 5th shot to get through the rotation hole, nothing more annoying, especially when it's like you gotta reload for it too. Super annoying, but he does get it, because ammo's not really much of a problem. But here we go, Deptra is going to go down, probably knock out any castle barricades he needs to, because of course Sledge is the man that kind of job, and well, Deptra's been on that operator all game. OJ is going to be around here with Rigbert to open up the other side of the building, over in CCTV. You've got Campo as well, ready to guard him from the red stairs. Actually, I wonder if he even saw that one down there, but Steffi will run away from there, as well as Tesla. You've got two people pretty far forward up here from PC419.
Yeah, PC would want to keep their, at the very least, their cash room intact. Tesla just tanks up quite a fair amount of damage, and well, will be forced to fall back to site and see if he can maybe just have a few of the crossfires set up. But that was a very quick clear of CCTV and cache, and that should allow Rufflecopter to take a pretty swift control of the construction site, and maybe going for a pretty quick swing right onto bedroom site.
Yeah, flushing out these roamers, real important. Vlad, all the way downstairs here in the blue tunnel, he's going to try and guard Campo from rotating to the other side, but how's he going to get back to site? I guess we'll have to find out, but he has done his job, at least for now, but still no kills. Everyone's got out of their situations alive, even if it's not so much health like in the case of Tesla, but regardless, it's still everyone's life, still up and ready to go as we're hitting the final minute here onto the site. Claymore's ready to block any kind of runouts. Shaq guarding the window and the door behind him as well. Plenty of space for this one to work, but now it's all on. Oh, hang on, because Vlad's got to go back upstairs. Tesla's fallen down upstairs as well, and well, things might getting a little bit messy here.
Yeah, just a little, because well, Vlad has been already on quite a minuscule amount of health. Right now, it's more so just a question of can they get Shaq out of that position, because not only there's now a castle barricade to contest against, there's also another body to really get into a gunfight with, and right now Shaq is actually in a pretty powerful position. That whole workout machine should definitely allow some quality amount of cover, but a few of the pre-fires through the walls and, well, rather through the windows should make his life a whole lot rougher. Steffi and Pun, actually, as a matter of fact, do claim themselves a frag. Each Shaq to add up to the kill tally, and now Campo just turns away at the worst possible moment. It's Rigbo once again in the clutching situation, but with 9 seconds remaining, not a hole can be done. Another push in, and it's a Vlad to close out the scoreline for himself and the team. BST419 now in a 2-point lead, I believe. Yes, 4-2 scoreline.
And that's what they were looking for, to leave the half solidly in the lead. So now they get to swap over, move on to the attack. This is where some teams, they can struggle, but we'll have to see here, because I feel like PC419 are feeling pretty on point. That was a really good final round out from them. Was wondering if Gym and Bedroom was going to be the way for them to come back in, but it looks like, yeah, I mean, that side as well wasn't much of a problem for them. So now onto the attack as we come out. Remember, the hard breaching bans have kind of messed things up. No Hibana, no Maverick, so Church and Arsenal is going to be real interesting for them. Same thing that happened to Rufflecopter. Now Pun have to deal with the fact that these hatches are going to be a little more annoying to get into.
Yeah, I'm curious if the Hibana ban is going to change the composition of PC419 in the shape or form, because whilst the defense ban were fairly normal, well, we did see a fair few of the Womai bans here and there. The dual hard breach ban is something that we quite rarely see here in LPL Pro. So with Maverick kind of being gone, that's not as much of an issue, but so many teams do practice with Hibana. So with her being out of the equation, maybe just the fact that they will have, well, just the Ace, which now that he's nerfed is going to be more so just a budget Hibana. If you think about it, well, maybe PC419 will have a few issues, maybe not really. I mean, their composition is still looking pretty strong overall.
Yeah, I mean, look, it can still do the job. Also, Steffi T, on the Cafetiere, not going to bring the hard breaching, of course. He's got plenty with his teammates here, so trust them to do the job. But, you know, you've got both Ace and the Thermite as well. So, you know, you've got backup options to get into wherever you want to go. It depends on how hard they want to approach the dirt tunnel, I suppose. But here you've got Steffi as well, still blocking out any kind of flank opportunities for Rufflecopter with that Claymore. For now, yeah, it's really just keen to see how PC419 go in for this. It's going to be Shaq making his first entry inside, but still checking with the drones. You know, you never ever can be too sure.
It's interesting how we're seeing consistently both teams actually attempt to make entry directly through the strip club rather than, well, front door or the garage. It seems that finally they have figured out kind of almost like a meta way to have a safe entry where nobody really usually contests. So that is already a very interesting thing to witness comparative to what we usually came to be used to, which is well, breaching clear, garage breaching clear, maybe CCTV, then go to the ground floor.
Claymore here.
But, oh, OJ might be up to something. He actually gets rid of that Claymore with the impact grenade, so he should be able to get the flank. And I don't think anyone from PC419 roster has actually heard that sound cue.
That's crazy, because impact grenades, they're pretty loud, but I mean, there might have been a lot of other noise going on at the same time, plus they're also quite far away. This is a really good flank. OJ should feel pretty... just at the wrong time. Oh. And they were watching the door. They heard it and were ready. Oh, what a disaster. It looked like it could have been so good, but now they're dropping like flies. Everyone in Rufflecopter's going down. It's all PC419 and only Campo to defend on the Jaeger here. He's not even on site, has to fall back, has the murder host, might be able to make one work, but Shaq is already going for the plant. Can he deny it? Can he get in time? There's smoke everywhere. Even from upstairs, the threats are there. It's just Campo left to go. This is all PC419.
through PC419 just looking to be on a whole new level to, comparative to Rufflecopter. They are just able to completely shut down any kind of force that is being thrown at them, and already being at a 5-2 scoreline. This is a statement that they're making. They're not going for a conversation. No. This is full-blown statement. Taking this chill.
If I'm not mistaken, this is 4 rounds in a row by now, because they were at 2-1 before. So Yeah, PC419 absolutely on a roll. They're showing they can get it done without too much trouble on the attack as well, so nothing weird on that side. The lack of Habana and Maverick clearly not hurting them too much, and probably on the side that mattered the most for those bans, because the vertical control on the hatches so important.
Attackers need
But
to locate and
they get to go back for a retry, so they do have to at least do it another time.
Yeah, the moment this is looking, yeah, this is looking very curious to me because we were hyping up this matchup for quite a while, even prior to the broadcast beginning, saying that Roflcopter between PC419 is going to be a banger. Both of these teams are on the top of the leaderboard and have shown us some good performances, but it seems that Roflcopter right now are not particularly looking too hot, at least on their own map pick. Maybe on Consulate they will show us something different, or maybe they haven't warmed up, but at this stage I would be a little bit alarmed if I was Atlas, who's their team coach and manager.
Well, I mean, it's always a rough one, right? This is going to be the hardest match for sure, at least in the coming weeks. You still have to worry about, of course, playoffs when they get there. I mean, both teams are pretty much guaranteed at this point, although with all the ties everywhere, it's kind of hard to tell, actually. But, you know, they're almost certainly going to be seeing each other in playoffs at some point. So this could be a good little taster match. But, yeah, PC419 have come out incredibly strong throughout this match. And just like the rest of the season, they're showing up for Season 3.
Oh, yeah. PC419 as well, the big storyline for them is the fact that they are just showing us a completely whole new level for themselves. They finally are able to dominate some of the plays and some of the pushes, and oh, Boydie actually gets forced off his position right now because that duo push by Vlad and Steffi is a very dangerous one, especially with the fact that Steffi T is rocking that M249 saw, and oh, that is a scary gun to witness, especially with 100 drum.
Alright, both Capital bolts ready to go, so he could flush them out of blue tunnel if he wanted to, but Pun is going for a bit of a marathon. He's got to rotate pretty far around. Just going to be joining up with the rest of the team, probably ready to go for the drop. Doesn't look like the dirt tunnel is going to be on the mines at all for PC419, at least for now. They're still hunting for these kills from above. They've got the buck to do it for sure, bringing that instead of the sledge. So, look, it works out perfectly well. There's no frags though. Always missing the frags.
Yeah, the old days of Buck with frags are now long gone. There is a peak though that, ooh, OJ, or rather Rigba could have taken, but got just absolutely rolled over there by the LMG.
I mean, he had basically no health already, so, you know, he would have won that fight if he had the full health. But there it is, gets taken now, and now that's one less defender. Some shots actually onto, I think it was, it was Steffi up from above and dropped down pretty low. Actually, I must say it was Tesla taking the shots. Steffi's over here. And Shaq, diffuser in hand, making a bit of noise, but the breach is now coming out. That's a great gas grenade. That separates Shaq from his reinforcements. Steffi actually just dropping down to be the replacement for now, but not a lot of health on the man. But here we go. Can drain the ADS on the other side of the reinforced wall, but eventually, what are you going to do when they run out?
Not much really, it seems, because right now Boydie is in a bit of a pickle there. The moment those breaches are going to be opening even more, this is going to be an issue. Deptra finding the shot with a gas grenade is a good beginning here, but the fact that Boydie was trapped there means Shaq will be getting rid of him. Already some more damage being dealt out by the Thatcher, but Vlad will be down, all thanks to the combined effort from Campo and the Deptra. And now it's all down to OJ, Deptra, and Campo. Finds two people. Now it's all down to Tesla. Time is about to run out, and it seems finally Roflcopter are able to break the streak.
Yeah, there we go. Roflcopter find their second win and get their first round in, well, a while. It's been 5 rounds, in fact, and they pick it up. Finally grabbing that one. Campo had an excellent position right at the back there. And you got to say as well, even though they lost, I think it was Rigba on the Valkyrie, pretty early-ish into that round.
Yeah.
You know, they still held strong, still made sure that, you know, PC419 couldn't just go wherever they wanted. They still had to work to get down those sightlines. So, you know, props to them for Roflcopter to hold it off just a little bit longer and actually pull out the win there. Still 2 rounds behind, but this is the start of a comeback, if it's going to happen.
Yeah, possibly this could be the big comeback. Now going into the, or rather, well, going off the church towards the gym, Gym defense could be
Protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
either very much one-sided in favor of the defense of Rufflecopter, or rather PC419 could really stomp over it if they will be able to play their cards right. And by playing their cards right, I mean getting the breach on the jacuzzi wall as quickly as possible, and then from there try and take control of the cache and the CCTV.
Just gonna go ahead and put the castle barricades over all the windows, make sure everything's locked down. Castle, very common operator. When the gym and the bedroom sites come out, you see them pretty much every time picked up. You can see Rufflecopter messing around. Thought it was gonna be a 6-pick. No, the castle's definitely gonna be here. No tricking us here. So, jump into it again. It's another pretty far forward defensive hold by Rufflecopter, holding a multitude of different walls, but they remember PC419 might try to approach from this side again, but it's going to be into the garage instead.
Yeah, a bit more of a conventional push here from PC419. No more of the odd shenanigans of trying to push through the strip club or through the ground floor first and then to go up on the second floor. Taking control of the rafters and then having a peek hole from there, including as well the breach, should be just about the right way to really go about it. A few peek holes have been already used up and tagged Steffi to just about 75 HP, but right now the moment Shaq gets the breach done, that's going to be another avenue for the push. This is exactly what Shaq could really lock out maybe a few of the peak points.
They're still sitting there. No, there it is. The first little bit of the signs of retreat should send him back, but nope, he's actually going to be sitting around there for a while. First flashes coming in, just to drain out the ADS. Voidy, his days might be numbered in this one spot, but he's held it for at least a minute, so this is getting some value out of it. But the question's always going to be, can he get out of here alive from cash? Another breach coming in, and he's about to say hello to a big freaking hole. But
well, not just yet, because there was an impact trick to go. Oh, that grenade nearly saw the end of Boydie. But he's still able to keep on playing. Finally, though, he will be pushed out. This time, it's Vlad just decides to go for a bit more of a conventional way of just shooting the opponent. And, well, meanwhile, it's Campo and Deptra actually making a return, finding themselves a kill each. And, well, making a double kill for Deptra, who just was able to shut down, I believe that was Shaq. So, down to Pan and Tesla remaining. And now they're in a bit of a predicament because now they're down to ground zero, essentially, with no real good foothold established for themselves.
yeah, the aggressive position on the defense was a little risky for sure, but it's paid off. It's run down the time a lot. You've also gotten 3 kills compared to the 2 that PC419 have come out with. They have all the tools to open the doors. That's no problem. You got Sledge and Ace can open pretty much anything they want to. But the question is, are they going to have the power to get in? You know, the guns need to do the job as well. And with only 2 people, it's a whole lot less angles as well. Definitely winnable by PC419, but only 30 seconds remain. They don't have to go through smoke, but they do have to go through Rigba, who is holding this doorway very, very diligently. He knows that Tesla's got it on lockdown, but it's Tesla that has to make the move. He drops on down onto his stomach. That cannot be comfortable. But hey, he turns the corner, makes the swing, doesn't quite work out, and it is all cleaned up by Rufflecopter. PC419 might get 1 in the end, but Rufflecopter will take the round.
And there we go, Rufflecopter doing some great job at coming back with the scoreline, being able to get themselves nearly back to that scoreline. 4-5 different is the play really right now, and only 1 round differential here between the 2 teams, which will still be leaving PC419 at a bit more of a comfortable game. But right now they need still to win out 2 more rounds if they do want to claim this map. Otherwise, Rufflecopter might make a big comeback and, well, just nab away that win for themselves.
Now, big thorn in the side of PC419 on these attacks has actually just been now far forward. We've seen Rufflecopter go for these defenses. CCTV, though, is a little bit different. It's hard to aggressively defend this one, unless you're like rushing down the stairs in the garage. But for now, it's going to be all about the starts here, right by the CCTV door. OJ, very important job, wants to keep it on lockdown, but he knows he's not Bandit, so we'll just have the option of just leaving it be. You can just keep it on lockdown. Of course, there's no Mavericks, so you know that they're going to take a little bit of time to get on in there and make it very, very obvious when they do so. So It's a bit different here. You're not going to have that pushed up aggressive defense, but CCTV is always a hard side to crack.
Yeah, I think it's more so going to be the big question of how will Vlad be able to time his EMPs, because while the kite trick could very much be the play, there will need to be quite some handiwork to be done before any breach will be handed in to PC419. On the side of Rufflecopter though, even post-breach scenario, they have plentiful amount of utility. 2 ADS is actually stacked on that ballistic shield, so quite a fair bit of utility will need to be wasted. And right now, Campo is actually going to be in a whole lot of trouble because he's about to get pressured here from right down below him because, well, there's a big heckin' hole.
Yeah, and I think he's only got one ADS sitting there as well. Shaq will fall. The Thermite has fallen, which is real annoying. Now you gotta rely on Pun. That Ace, did they even get the door open? They must have got it open at some point.
Yeah, funnily enough, actually, Rigba didn't really even want to go in for yet another swing. He got the frag and then bailed away. Will be coming around to the supply room stairs, or rather the oil pit, and maybe could potentially find himself a nice frag. But right now, he's just waiting for the right moment to really nab himself a frag off those garage stairs. And a push is going to be happening very soon. There's already some pressure being applied onto the Jaeger player, but no damage has been acquired. And oh, Rigba, there it is. There's that play. Finally finds a kill. Gets another one as well. But finally is able to trade him out, but the damage has been already dealt. Vlad rather instead able to down Rigba back to 3v2, so this is much more workable now. But right now, things are still looking a little bit dicey here for PC419, and looks like we just might be seeing a 5-5 scoreline.
Well, Vlad has basically no health, so if he wants to win this, he needs to get some surprises done. That melee swing could be a sound cue, but has an EMP ready, but we'll definitely need to throw it out for the push. He's got Pun from a pretty different angle as well, so they've got the lines of sight down.
Ooh.
A minute. Oh, wow, is that the smoke?
That is the smoke. That is quite a Kobe as well that has been done there by Deptra to land directly at Vlad's feet. And well, that leaves Pun with barely any HP, and that gas just might be the end of him as well.
I said you can't defend this aggressively, but it turns out you can. You just got to throw the gas grenades at them. I mean, there's the other one. I think they're trying to get these kills out of it because it's definitely not to run the clock down. Pun on a quarter health. He's had to drop downstairs, but they know you just got to guard the one way back up. It's the stairs. Oh, they don't see him at all.
There is one prone there as well at the top landing, but instead it's just the swing with the pumpy boy. It's Deptra to find yet another frag. My lord, Rufflecopter ramping up their momentum here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I would ever have heard Kobe to describe a gas grenade, but I mean, hey, look, it definitely worked out. I didn't even expect it to be used to kill him. My eyes darted to the clock and I saw it still a minute to go, but hey, look, you take those for sure. He was on so low health that it was pretty much guaranteed you needed basically one tick. So, good on Deptra to catch that one up. Now, we head to Church and Arsenal. This one has been a very interesting one. I really doubt that the smoke is going to swap over to Warden, but I've been surprised before.
It seems like this will be done, actually.
Ooh,
a very controversial change, actually, given the fact that smoke should be a little bit more of a useful op, given the fact how deadly right now Deptra was in just the previous round. But it seems the decision to change over to a Warden without a C4, and instead it's a shotgun Warden, so he's going to be more so of a just utility kind of operator to just open up as many rotation holes as possible and try to counter all of those flashbangs and smoke grenades. Not a bad idea, to say the very least, but it's still very much relies on the fact that Deptra himself will just be able to get those frags and being able to pop off in a solo situation, which in his current loadout, I'm feeling a little bit hesitant on that statement, to be honest.
The thing I'm a little worried about now is, though, who's going to guard the dirt tunnel? I mean, are they just expecting that no one's going that way? They have the breach for it. Oh, hang on, hold that thought, because Rigba and Boydie are both trying to get some frags right outside the window. Boydie will retreat first, but Rigba's not... Well, okay, he is finished now, but he was trying to get one more on the way out, and we'll just retreat on back. So anyway, my point is dirt tunnel could be a point of contention with no smoke just gassing it up the whole time.
could be. I mean, that very much depends on whether the attack will actually go for the push into the dirt tunnel, because that is quite a large gamble that the defense would have to take to position their smoke down there and dedicate him to be positioned all the time there. So instead, well, that won't be the case either way, given the fact that, well, there's no smoke and Deptre is playing on a Warden. Now, Warden's loadout here, namely the SMG-12, it can be a decent mid-range, but long-range engagements for that gun are borderline impossible, just all thanks to that absolutely ridiculous recoil that the SMG-12 has. So here, I can see him hold the blue tunnel, but that is just about it. I don't think he will be planning to take any of the long gunfights, especially to the church wall.
You gotta remember, it's a bit of the Deptre special as well. He does actually pick this operator quite a lot, so we'll see if it does actually work out for him. We've gone through half the round now, and only a little bit of damage has been traded back, as pretty much all the defenders have moved back to the site by now. I don't think we have any roamers still running around out there, but these cameras, Rigba's got a good little spot on that soft floor too. He might be able to catch out a few toes. He's careful. They are opening up a lot of the floor here. Tesla just firing it all apart, but there it is, Steffi. The support from above as Shaq makes the push. We've also got the hatch to drop down too, but we've got to drop down soon. The flames blocking Shaq's way, but keeping him safe from any kind of swings. Goo Mine just around the corner. Wants to take it out, but knows he's got to watch that doorway as well. On a very important too. But for now, it's the calm before the storm, because this push about to happen now. OJ trying to make the swing, but he's just around the corner. There he is. We'll pick up the first one. Needs the next one. Gets that one too. Steffi's down. Shaq will be the next one. 2 fall. OJ and Rigba making the push and making it happen. Only 30 seconds left. Tesla's all that remains.
What a stomp there by OJ, just playing off that single fridge just to establish dominance there. Fantastic shot by Tesla though, gotta say. So at least not a flawless round, but so little time and so little HP, nothing much can be done. Campo to finish off Mr. Buck, and well, it's Rufflecopter in the match point.
Finally, we get a team to match point. It's taken a while. We thought it was going to be a close one, but look, I'm really happy to see that it's gone all the way to round number 12. We might even get that glorious overtime if we get to see PC419 pull it out, but it's off to the gym and bedroom side. This is one where, well, look, we've seen some success out of Rufflecopter. Actually, they had a pretty good hold a few rounds ago on it, so they might be able to be looking to do it just again, but these operator lineups are just not changing Cthulhu. It is all coming down to execution.
Not a whole lot of changes. OJ will be bringing in a castle instead for just Jim, given the fact how powerful the FBI operator can be on that very specific side, just to lock off some of the sight lines. But we've seen a few iterations, namely from PC419, including the fact how they've played Shaq around those, well, the exercise equipment, or the gym equipment, and the gym room, whilst having the doorway barricaded. So not only they would have had to deal with that barricaded door, they would have also had to deal with the roamer there as well. So few ways of really defending it, but I feel like Rufflecopter will just play it in the most conventional way possible, really.
So it all comes down to this. Oh, this will get overtime. Then it'll come down to a bit more. But Rufflecopter 1 round away from getting that first map. Remember, both teams want this 2-0. Otherwise, they might both slip down towards that 3rd, 4th place spot. They just want to get a 2-0 and secure the first seed, or at least hold on to it for a long time. There's only a few weeks left of the round robin to go. Only a few rounds left to go. Picking up map number 1. Very important. PC419. Definitely not wanting to drop this one. So, let's kick it off. Round number 12 here. Into the gym and the bedroom.
Seems that right now, Rufflecopter will just play a very similar game. Rigba and Boydie are going to be the first people to respond to any aggression. Boydie was actually able to stay alive and dodge quite a fair few explosives before he went down. So here right now, it's a matter of time before he will start getting flushed out. No frag grenades, surprisingly, from PC419 this time, but they do have Tesla, who will be playing from down below. So this will be the main way of applying pressure to the defense here. And right now, with the fact how stacked the cash room is, this could mean a few troubles there for for the attack to really have access there.
Vlad's going to be pretty important on his little line of sight down there. They've got 3 angles now covered. Shaq with his drone spotting up Boydie as well. He might just have to book it out of here soon. He's getting shot at from below as well by Tesla. How long can they stay at cash and run down the clock here? Boydie's fighting back. Boydie's trying to get a kill as well, but he's losing health and losing time. And there it goes. Eventually he goes down. The first kill for PC419, but that's half the round. Can they clean it up?
Yeah. Half a round already drained for a single life. That is going to sting a little bit further down the line in the time management course, rather, for PC419, but nonetheless, a fairly effective way to really get rid of him, minus the fact that Vlad took quite a hefty punishment there for all the troubles. But right now they need to keep on pushing, because not only they have the Malusi charges, all of the crossfires that could be set up, the fact that Rigby's playing in the logistics office, they need to do all that clearing in less than a minute, because right now they're running on a clock, and, well, Rufflecopter seeming to have set up all the needed crossfires here. As well as that, Deptra is actually playing from down below, so he might just be able to deny the plan.
Yeah, a lot of tools. Rufflecopter have set themselves up for success, even with only 4 people remaining to defend. So, this is all on PC419 to get a really good execute done. This drone, oh my god, the value they get from that ping. Knowing that Deptra is down there with the drone.
Deptra doesn't know even that he got droned out.
He might have seen the drone drive over the hole in the floor.
Site housing might have actually blocked it. The fact that it was just peeking over. OJ actually on the swing does get rid of Vlad. There might be a go and another swing because Vlad is actually, well, Vlad is dead. Now it's down to Pun. Pun actually finds the kill into Deptra, so that is the alibi gone.
Pun got cancelled.
Return to fire. There's the diffuser has been down. It's a double kill. 4 seconds remaining. The push needs to happen, but no, to no effect. It's 1v1 situation. Those seconds. And a GG from Rufflecopter as they do take the victory on their own map pick after 5 rounds in a row.
What a huge, huge victory. You thought it was going to be PC419 all the way, getting it so well at that mid-stage of the game. 5 rounds in a row at one point, but look, Rufflecopter, they came back just as strong, and right there at the end, similar to last night, they just wanted to skip overtime and just get it done right there. Really good hold, getting the diffuser just out of there as well. So, look, that's the first map for them.
Yeah, and we were just about to say, and maybe about to call that maybe PC419 would have been able to run away with the dub there. They had a pretty confident 4-round streak as well going for themselves, but Rufflecopter said that they wanted a completely opposite outcome, and well, came out with a very large comeback as it stands out. 5 rounds in a row on the defense, almost a flawless game, so well played for them, but it's not over yet because they still yet to go on their opponent's map pick. That is going to be Consulate.
That's right, and that one's going to be coming up after the break. So guys, go grab a drink because we're going to be back faster than a WD Black. All right, everyone, we have returned, and we still have this series to finish. Rufflecopter now 1 game up against PC419 after they took Clubhouse 7-5. It was really close. It could have been anyone's map.
Yes, yeah, it was a absolutely nuts of a performance there from themselves. 5 rounds in a row for them to take a victory as well over PC419 that looked like it was about to be the big dub, but hey, we still got 1 more map, and that is going to be Consulate as well, as we are just heading straight right into the ban phase as well of that map. This is the pick of PC419, so I'm assuming PC419 are going to be a little bit more confident on that play, but it's Rufflecopter to begin defending, and the first ban from them is going to be the Capitao. That will be out of the equation. Now up next is coming up the PC419 ban that should probably be either Thatcher or maybe a Blackbeard, possibly, because Blackbeard is quite potent on this map.
Yeah, you see Blackbeard come up on Consulate a few times, but Nomad's another one that if you really focus on roaming that we have seen throughout, you know, at least on Clubhouse, getting Nomad out of there is a good idea too.
Yeah, Nomad actually seen a fair few bans, especially at the beginning of the season as well, where just some teams just don't want to play against her, and with Valk now being out of the way, that's the flexible info gathering now completely denied from the defense side. So the last operator ban remaining that is going to be on Rufflecopter, I would imagine that it will be Mira to be banned out because she can be extremely powerful, especially in sites like the garage and maybe even the console office and meeting room. And there we go. Actually, now instead it's going to be Maestro that will be seeing himself out. So Mira is actually going to be present, which I am now 100% expecting for her to be present here, and for her to just generally change the playfield, I suppose.
So you reckon we're going to see Mira a whole lot here?
I reckon we do, actually, at least from one of the sides. Well, there we go. Deptra actually already goes in for the peek on Mira, and not surprisingly, it is going to be for the garage hold, because out of all of those sites, Mira window in the CCTV wall of the garage hold is almost an impenetrable fortress. You cannot really contest a whole lot of angles with it.
It's almost one of the best angles in the game for Mira to go ahead and grab, so, you know, Deptra's going to be happy to grab that one. It's also an operator that, when it's available, Deptra does pick it up, and, you know, and it's a good idea for the team to go for it. And so, this is where he gets to show off. Deptra has actually been having a pretty sweet game today.
Yes, Deptra has definitely been feeling his mojo today. The interesting thing is actually the change of Rig, who swapped from a Kayed to a Pulse. And that is quite a drastic change as well, gotta say. So instead of going for the breach denial, it seems that Rufflecopter are expecting the breach to happen, and rather just going to play for post and pre-breach to try to grab some of the maybe early frags with the vertical play, maybe from a C4, or maybe just the general info gathering.
Yeah, really interesting to go for that one, but hey, look, if it works out, it'll be great. The C4 is definitely going to be the big piece of his kit. To pick up a kill with that, going to be really important to just outvalue the fact that you can just have Electro Claws ready to go from the start. But hey, look, Pulse is going to be the play. You've also got the ability to play off Mirror as well, so Rufflecopter have so much information to play off. You know, you throw on the default cannons on top of that. They don't even have a Valkyrie, and they still have so much intel.
Yeah, the Valkyrie ban would have been a nice addition to the roster, but alas, not the case. Breaches on multiple patches of the walls will be there, and the attempt at denying that breach is certainly going to be at least partially successful. Boydie doing all that he can to really just slow down the push as much for as long as he can, because I know all those mute jammers as well, they will be quite a nuisance to deal with here.
Yeah, a lot of them as well from below, so, you know, some of them can catch you out by surprise if you're not remembering them, like that one. OJ.
Okay.
Mirror window, that's why it is so good. Rufflecopter easily going to grab that one up. Vlad now approaching the stairs, but, you know, got to get rid of those default. I mean, we saw how much they paid off last night's matches as well.
Oh, man, yeah. I'm mostly probably just intrigued about those mute jammers, because those from down below are doing some phenomenal job. OJ finally gets forced out of his position, and with quite some finesse from Vlad, as a very excellent swing there. But it's only a single frag. Trading out your sledge for a mute is, well, still I have to say a trade probably in favor of the defense, but denying one of the C4s is not a bad idea.
Yep, and at the end of the day, kill is a kill, so that's alright. You can still find a way to make this one work. And so, off we go downstairs. PC4 and I have spent quite a lot of time opening up the doors and flushing out anyone they can, clearing all the rooms, but now it's the big job of getting onto the site itself. They've got a little bit of an opening with the main garage door, but as you can see, Campo's got that on lockdown. They can barely get anything done through it anyway. And so, it's going to be all about this hatch, all about control of this position here. Campo holding on to it. And then, of course, the stairs as well. There's a few different stairways to be looking at, but hey,
Vlad knows.
Yeah, he knows.
He knows he's being watched here by Rigby, and it's more so just a game of chicken as to who will swing first. The EMP grenade will be there to disable the heartbeat sensor. Boydie does manage to meanwhile find an off-screen kill onto Shaq. Right now, here's the swing. They were prepared. Vlad certainly had his sights trained there. Another swing, but does find actually even another frag onto Boydie. That does leave down to Deptra and Campo, as Campo doesn't go for the swing. 2v2, they both know about the positioning. There's another one swing. Deptra going cute. Double kill at the end, and my goodness.
Look at this. Look at the replay. Look at how quick he flicks over to the left. Just immediately there, taps him in the head. Just no stress, no worries, and he picks up another round for his team. Wow, what a good one coming out from the man, the legend, really showing up tonight.
Oh, Deptra, toying there with my emotions. They're giving me quite a roller coaster of emotions with all these flicks and swings and everything. But oh man, well, that was a solid beginning there for their defense. Console office and meeting room, though, will be the next decision to defend, and, well, no Cav play is going to be there.
Coward Deptra.
Well, instead it's going to be a decision to bring in a little bit more utility for the team, for their own safety. Potentially, those castle barricades could be going, say, 2 of them on the balcony windows, 1 on the connector, but we'll have to see because, well, quite a few things can be done with the help of those castle barricades, gotta say.
Yeah, I mean, look, if teams want to be, they can be pretty creative with the castle barricades. Deptra's definitely a bit of a creative player himself, so if he did have any ideas, I'm sure the team would be hearing about it. But yeah, look, I mean, after that round, they've got to be feeling pretty good about that one to get that first one on the board of such a close one too. It came down to the wire. Deptra did pull it out in the end. We did flip out a bit, but he also set himself up in a great position, right? He had the little hole to see through, perfect recoil control to immediately take it up to the head, and then just the good flick onto the doorway to close it out. So that's just one round, of course. Rufflecopter are going to be riding that high after taking away Clubhouse as well, and to get it going on round number 1, oh, they've got everything going for them.
Yeah, look, they got the momentum, they got all the peaks. OJ could be toying with fire here and playing at a very dangerous position. He might be pressured from just way too many angles for him to manage, especially whilst wielding only an SMG-11 and a shotgun. But last time we saw a shotgun to be used in yesterday's match, that was a quad kill. So
yeah,
I wouldn't be writing it off just yet, but it's certainly going to be quite a rough patch there for the smoke player to play it out, because that frag grenade could certainly make things a whole lot more difficult. So many grenades being tossed over. OG gets downed as well while being blind. The man is certainly not enjoying his life. Another frag grenade is flying in. That could be a double, but no. Only a down though onto Rigba, but Deptra is still able to trade things out a little bit more.
But the down's how they downed him. He was getting OJ back up, and now he's down. Can they even get Rigba back up at all? Doesn't look like it, or if he is, it's going to take some time.
Do you remember the match of Rufflecopter versus Skyfire where Deptra got the double kill off the same scenario? This is PC419 giving Rufflecopter their taste of their own medicine. That would have been a nutty one, but no, there's a run out. Campo does equalize the man count once again, and now forces actually Tesla to keep an eye out on the exit stairs, because the push could be coming out there anytime, and the diffuser has been dropped as well, just outside.
That's right, diffuser just sitting right there, so they definitely want to swing around and pick that one up and get out of there, because yeah, on lockdown by Campo, who's just come down the stairs and got another kill, but Tesla knew he was there and can get the revenge at least. But now it's a minute, we've got the 2v2 again. Boydie and Deptra on the rook and the castle. They're going to have to anchor pretty damn hard to get this one down. Luckily, they're on the operators that can do it.
Oh yeah, they both have pretty decent guns, namely Boydie with that 2x scope MP5. That gun is a death machine, really, especially for all the ranges. And right now, with the fact that both of the players of PC419 are kind of disconnected, this could be a bit of a rough patch. Boydie does find a shot onto Shag, but gets down pretty quickly. Now it's all down to Deptra. A theoretical 1v1 situation, but right now if Boydie is able to run away, no, he couldn't!
Operators, you have run out
Spray down by Tesla. Actually, wait.
No, he got him.
Oh, he got him! Wait, he actually did get him. That was a trade, but it counted as like win for Rufflecopter, but...
Yeah, I mean, in the kill feed, he got the kill after, but...
I'm assuming that's because that was still a downed Shaq. If Shaq wasn't downed... Oh,
Is that how it works?
I think that's how it works, because essentially, technically Shaq was still considered a...
He was alive.
He was alive, yeah. So even though it could have been half a second before he died, theoretically, due to round end, maybe... Oh man,
it's got to be.
I'm not a game developer.
Here's my theory.
Just yet, yeah.
Here's my theory on what happened.
Yeah,
right?
go on.
Attackers need to
They obviously did the trade kill. One dies, and then the other one dies. Travel time of the bullets.
Bomb located by attackers.
In the travel time of the bullets is a small amount of time where I forgot who was downed, but whoever was downed would have died automatically when the teammate died, right?
Yeah.
But that takes some amount of time. It doesn't happen instantly. In that smaller window would have been when the return kill happened.
Maybe.
I don't know. I'm getting pretty 4 head here, 5 head even, but at the end of the day, the second point's on the board and there's no contest coming out, so...
I mean, if I was a PC419 player, I would be a little bit tilted there at the fact that you got the trade, but still ended up losing the round.
Yeah, either way, I mean, they still did it, right?
But nonetheless, yeah, that is certainly an unusual outcome, to say the very least. And, well, props to Deptra and Boydie for holding out their position.
Okay. So, it just means 2 rounds now in a row already for Rafflecopter. Man, they are really on a roll here, but let's not forget, Cthulhu, the last 2 rounds have come down to a 2v2 at the very least, so
correct.
It's not like these rounds are getting stomped by Rafflecopter. PC419 always have a window back in, and they've been showing it each round. Finally, we get to have Havana come back to the party, by the way. It's good to see her.
Yeah, good to see her back, but maybe not for long if Rafflecopter will continue to keep on trading blows here between themselves and PC419. But gotta say, this is so far, if including the rounds from the previous map, this is their 7th round in a row win against PC419.
That's true.
Across the 2 maps, that is.
That's painful, but maybe not so much for Rafflecopter, of course, but here we go. We've got Shaq now making the first few swings. Wants to get rid of that arcade, but of course needs to drone it out a little bit more. But yeah, look. Deptra aiming down the hallway on the Wamai. Certainly looking for anything he can, but yeah, look, it's just a little bit quiet on this round for now.
Located a bomb.
It's the calm before the storm here, really. Between the 2 teams, they are just waiting for the right moment to go for the play, and well, that's the play, all right. The frag grenade is there. I think that was actually from Tesla. If not, then Vlad could have most certainly done that destruction of the ballistic shield, but already the gas grenades are starting to come out fairly early into the round, and OJ does take quite some punishment for all of that trouble. Pun! Also a fantastic peek onto OJ. Deptra follows up with falling to the hands of Shaq, and well, 3v5. Looks like PC419 might be able to finally break that unlucky streak for themselves.
Yeah, well, this is where it gets really tricky, right? Because they weren't doing so well when it was even. Things like the 3v3s. Now you're into a 3v5. Unless you get Shaq before he can even take a shot because he's on such low health, then maybe. But apart from that, it's going to be Campo getting the surprises. But who's he going to be roaming against? Looks like they know that he's just around the corner and thinking about this doorway. They might be looking at the hatch, though. So could be the swing that he's really looking for. Rigba as well has got this little pixel angle held, but this is what we're looking at. Campo knows, and Campo waits, and Campo collects. Boydie in the background too has found Shaq, and suddenly we're back at a 3v3. Make that a 3v2. 1! They're all dying, Cthulhu. I can't believe it.
Rafflecopter just being the masters of making a comeback here. The moment they were able to establish all the dominance back again at the top of the floor, that was it pretty much. Steffi T cannot find a single frag there. Goes in for the swing, does able to get himself some redemption prize there in the form of finding Boydie, but apart from that, that is it. 3rd round in a row on this very map, and Rafflecopter take some very good control of the scoreline as they are now in the lead. Now, my main question here, actually 2 main questions.
All right.
Can PC419 equalize the round count here and push it to a 3-3-all draw? Or, and everything. Well, I have all of my questions just mixed up in my head right now into one, so just bear with me, brain aneurysm. Can PC419 return back to the good old lead for themselves during their defense, whilst Rafflecopter will be at the question of how confident is their offense here, rather?
Yeah, that's always a question we leave up, because, you know, when the stomp starts happening, you can always sit back and say maybe they're just really good on the defensive side. But remember, this is the second map, Cthulhu. Remember, we've already seen Rafflecopter with a pretty spectacular performance back over on Clubhouse, especially coming back. You know, the fact is PC419 did make them work pretty hard for it. You know, 7-5 scoreline, but now that it feels like Rafflecopter are on a roll, remember that you just said, you know, the win streak is still carrying on from the last map, where, you know, they've won now 8 rounds in a row. Yeah, 8 rounds in a row, carrying on from Clubhouse. So I mean, maybe it's going to be PC419's game when they go to defense, but for now it feels like Rafflecopter are just on fire.
Bear in mind, though, that all of these wins that Rafflecopter right now, whilst being on a streak, are all from the defensive side. and their offense, they were only able to get themselves only 2 points during Clubhouse. So on Consulate here, this could be a bit of a similar outcome here. Oh, Campo toying with his destiny here, and well, will be able to run away fairly quickly. Shaq wasn't really in a hurry to try to maybe hunt the Jaeger bag, but certainly will be quite alarmed and will be waiting for any further aggression, because right now there's already plentiful amount of breaching to be done.
But yeah, I mean, they can't get too distracted by Campo, right? It's his job to run down that clock, but this is in a great little drone position, very protected, seeing through the windshield too. And Campo, he might have this one on lockdown, but that drone should be able to see him incredibly well. So he might be in a little bit of danger, trying to clear them out from below the van as well. It's just so many annoying little spots the drones can hide on this site. That's why I love it as an attacker. I always get my drones found, so it's nice to have some good spots.
Yeah. Nice to know that you can keep up a stable information stream for yourself and for your teammates. But right now, main issue for PC419 is to get Tesla inside the piano room, or the lobby for that matter, because there is a wild OJ, I believe, sitting behind the mirror window in the bathroom, and last time he was able to get himself a single frag, was able to disrupt the general flow of PC419, and seems with that right now, there's going to be a bit of a different push now that Shaq is actually pressuring from one of the wall openings rather than the front door.
Yeah, I mean, they've had to be just a little bit creative. OJ does know he's right around the corner here, has a decent little position, but it's kind of vulnerable, so he definitely is going to have to rely on getting these shots almost immediately. And look, you can see he's now just going to make the swing, the frag, trying to take his life, but he jumps just down to his safety, just barely. But in comes PC419, but it's straight to their doom. Eventually, OJ loses that last hit point, but it's still PC419 falling all over the place.
Oh my god! Rufflecopter absolutely playing for demolition here, and getting themselves, no matter what, a flawless win, and even before you even finish the talk. What? Wow.
That was impressive. That was impressive and clean. I liked it. OJ drawing a lot of attention, even Campo right at the beginning of the round. You know, literally just breaking a window, stepping out for a moment, and then going back in. All that does is just bring all this attention on you, even if you booked it away. So, you know, still bringing value even like that. But there it is. 4 rounds in a row on Consulate. This is already a spectacular half for them. So it's getting to the point where even if PC419 are really good on defense, it might not even matter, Cthulhu.
Yeah, look, we still have 2 more rounds
Need to locate and
for to defend, which presents PC419 with 2 more opportunities to shorten down the round differential here for themselves, which could still make the scoreline for themselves a whole lot more competent comparative to, say, battling against a 6-0 after the end of the first half. So, look, right now it's not over yet for PC419, far from it as a matter of fact. Although that map point will be certainly applying quite some pressure onto PC419's morale overall.
Yeah, that's another thing as well, is that PC419, remember they've already lost map number 1 by a thin hair, and yet here on map number 2, it's just the complete opposite. They're getting steamrolled right now. At least some of the early rounds were coming right down to the wire, but that last one was just flawless, literally flawless by Rufflecopter. So yeah, I mean, obviously they've got to keep their heads high. They've been at this game for a while, so they're no strangers to this situation, but it's still got to sting.
Oh yeah. Now the main issue here will be also is the fact that PC419 worked so hard to get themselves to where they are right now, contesting for that first place, and to be outed right now for potentially their 4th place or maybe even 5th place later down the line could be a very tilting moment, because they are now probably at their best performance, or rather best showcase as a roster. And, well, right now they're getting loud. Well, just as I say that and start roasting them, it's Shaq that actually goes in for the swing, gets the kill, but gets refragged instantaneously by Deptra. So, a good hold there, and a very interesting setup, might I add, for a exit stairs hold.
Yeah, that's really cool. I actually quite like it. But look, it gets them the kill, or at least the trade, right? They've lost smoke. OJ would have been massive at the end of the round, so always painful to lose that one. Oh, whoa! Campo, slow down, mate.
Okay.
Slow down, mate. He's still going.
Oh my goodness. Campo is just unrelenting here. Not really caring a single bit about any of his opponents. Just keeps on shift Wing as if we're playing Modern Warfare here, and just keeps on going. He wants to find more frags, and he's definitely hunting for them. Gets a little bit of a damage in onto Pun, but the health disadvantage is certainly there to play their worst part.
The great thing about watching Campo play, though, is that he reads his opponents so well. He knows the exact spot they're going to be swinging out, or if they're going to chase him, but they walk right into his trap. This time, though, he gets caught. He's the fly that flew into the spider's web, but here we are. He set up his team for a pretty decent victory. 3v2 right now. The Lion could be pretty powerful, but I think they've only got one EE1D left. If that, they might actually have 0. So he's going to have to find an interesting way in. EMPs might help too, but the first few shots coming out, Boydie's pushing up mighty far here, Cthulhu. Mighty far indeed. He's got the soft wall right over the other side. Oh, this is a great position from behind. He can clean one and clean two. Boydie gets another one, cleans that one up. 5 rounds in a row for Rafflecopter GG.
Rafflecopter, absolute demolition here for themselves. 10 rounds in a row on the defense Smite. This is,
Can anyone beat these guys?
I
mean, after a performance like this.
After such a stellar performance, I think PC419's morale might be starting to crack under the pressure.
And this is PC419's map too, isn't it?
Yes, this is their map pick as well. The map that they were hoping to, well, play for surprise maybe, but
Or not this.
not definitely, that is definitely the wrong surprise that they were expecting. Definitely will have to agree with you here, Smite, but 0-5 scoreline. But Rafflecopter just so good right now. They're so on top of their game, including the frags, Campo, Boydie, Deptra. Those 3 names that keep on popping up so frequently on the kill feed, and they are the ones they keep on continuously dedicating that, dedicating to the success. Not to take away from Rigba and OJ. They are the support so far players of that roster, but remember how back at the beginning of week 1 I said that Rafflecopter may be contesting for the top 4 position? Right now I think they just might be easily contesting for that top 1 position.
Yeah, a lot of questions going to be answered with this victory here. Assuming they do get it, you know, they still have 2 wins to get, but if they can get that, that's a 2-0. Puts them securely in first place. You know, the best anyone else can do is tie with them. And that's going to be in the next game where, actually, even in that can't happen. So yeah, they would be squarely at the top of the league at the end of week 4. Just matrixes that bullet, by the way.
I think Campo could have seen his death, or rather his life, just wheeze right past him. But
yeah, he sees when he created his Ubisoft account, and then it goes to when he did this first T-plant, and his whole life flashes before his eyes. But he survives.
I think Boydie is about to get pressured out of his position very quickly the moment those impact charges will be flying in. Actually, only a single one remaining for Vlad, and he might want to preserve that one. The ADS is about to get sent in. There's the EMP grenade. That should give Boydie the idea that the breach might be done, but instead, actually, the impact grenade has been used up for a completely different thing, to rather just open up the hatch, or rather the area around it, and well, OJ's shield was actually able to stay alive here.
Yeah, so OJ gets to sit in this really strong position. He can shoot from anyone below him. He's got the barricade to protect him. Deptra, though, he's been on fire. Can he continue it in the last few rounds of Consulate here? He's aiming down the hallway, knows someone's over to the right-hand side, but it's all a no! Tesla, the timing! And he finishes himself off with his own grenade.
Deny the kill for himself and for the opposing
My
team.
MVP!
My MVP! You ain't getting any of them. Deptra, meanwhile, does claim quite a fair bit of punishment for himself after trying to contest with the almighty R4C, but there's a swing. There's a wild Campo once again playing for an upset. Potentially could be going for another one, but nearly has his head taken off by Pun from up above. But what is happening? 2 players of PC419 on the rooftop, and so much time has been already drained.
Oh man, PC419 must feel like Walter White, because Campo Actually, I messed this one up. Campo is Walter White. Because PC419 must be saying he can't keep getting away with this. He keeps getting out of these situations, maybe losing a bit of health, but times where he really should have died, he still gets out, and it makes it a freebie kill instead of a trade. And that is how Rufflecopter are winning so hard. But Vlad, just about breathing on the site here, would love to get just a little bit closer. They want to get this plant done. Oh, Steffi! See you later, health bar, but he's still got some of it left. But it's Rigba, this man from below. He is just tracking them like a spider tracks a fly. I don't know, do they hunt flies down? I don't think they need to, because they run into the web just like this.
A flawless first half from Rufflecopter. 6 rounds in a row, as they're just completely not even allowing a single free step to PC419. Not a single time where PC419 even remotely felt close to being a win. Probably the only, actually, as a matter of fact, the only time
there was one.
There was one. That was the second round where it was a very questionable trade. Apart from that, it's been the train of, or yeah, I guess the comeback train, or rather the full send train, has been ramping up its revs here for Rufflecopter ever since then. So, look, 7th round, potentially the final round, which is on a match point. But now it's Rufflecopter that will have to be on attack. And last time we seen they had a few very questionable plays and very unfortunate results.
Yeah, but it's not like they had a 0-6 defensive round, right? So, sorry, attacking round. They got a few rounds. It wasn't just a complete wash, right? So it's not like these guys are going to be useless on the attack here. But for PC419 to come back and get it to overtime, they kind of have to hope they are. They kind of have to hope that Rufflecopter flop on this attack. And after winning 6 rounds in a row on defense, I don't think that's going to happen. I'll definitely sit around and see what PC419 can do. My faith is totally there for these guys, but they've got to at least pick up their first round win here. You never want to get that 7-0 happening to you.
Yeah, 7-0 certainly is going to be quite an upsetting thing to happen here, especially to the roster that is PC419, especially in the position that they are currently in. But alas, we'll have to see.
This one. That's what I'm talking about.
That's the shotgun curse. Look, looking even right now at the stats for all of the players, PC419 have been only allowed about 2 to 3 kills each on a few occasions, but apart from that, nothing more, nothing less. Already a breach to happen from Campo, who's actually playing yet again on their Ashe, now solidifying himself as the Ashe Jaeger main of the roster, but rightfully so. The man has been the phantom of Rufflecopter, being everywhere but nowhere.
Well, it's been working out, right?
And yeah, that's exactly what they were really needing, the Rufflecopter roster, because while the rest of the playing a very conventional siege game, Campo is just playing Call of Duty at this point. Not even Call of Duty like as in, say, Search and Destroy, where it's a single life. He's playing it as if it's team deathmatch.
But the thing is, he's reading his opponent so well, right?
Oh, yes.
He knows exactly what they're going to be doing a few seconds before even they do, it seems like. Here we go, though. Pun is going to do his best stealth impersonation, trying to hide around and see if he can come back in later on in the map, but he's definitely going to have to make sure his team doesn't all fall down to this man here, Campo. 10 kills in only 6 rounds, and still has not dropped a single one. The man's died 3 times. What are you up to here, mate, Tesla?
Ugh.
Okay.
That is a very interesting decision to go for a run out. That does give an idea as to what our PC419 planning really, but already a half a round has been drained out. Now Rigbo should be suspecting that there might be some presence from down below, but it doesn't look like he's really intending on really checking out. Finally does jump on the drone to see if maybe he can find Tesla's position. That drone should be giving a good idea. Yeah, there it is. The call out is there, but they don't know that Pun is actually coming around to the Visa, and he should be able to strike at just the right moment, but instead go into the spiral stairs. Maybe just sit around and wait for the roam clear party to come around, as right now both Vlad and Steffi took quite some damage.
Yeah, I imagine that would have been pretty devastating. Vlad's still taking the damage. This is a frag on Shaq's head, but no, the magnet looks like it would have saved him, and Pun finally finds Rigba. So this attack's starting to slow down. Pun finally starting to join the party here. He's made it all the way upstairs, but Rufflecopter are falling without him. Steffi's the one to pick up these kills. Campo trying to pull it back for his team, but it's going to be Deptra as well, helping him out, maybe. This is still doable. Deptra inching around the corner. He's got protection for now, but Pun has got his number. No, he's got Campo's number from downtown. He's trying to go ahead and grab Deptra's as well for the double deal, but can't quite get it. And on the attack, they were about to run out of time, but well, Pun, he beats the clock. First round for PC419.
First round after a 11-round streak for Rufflecopter. Finally, they do break the curse, so at the very least, it won't be a 7-0 scoreline, but a 7-1 is still very much is on the board, and now that is a scoreline that I probably expected the least. That is the scoreline I probably expected for the yesterday's matchups.
Yeah.
Smite, because the way our Rufflecopter so far playing are a very scary way, really, and if I would be any team that is currently facing the relegations in Oceanic Nationals, I would be scared because that team is actually aiming to go for those relegations as well.
Oh yeah, and you can definitely imagine them making it there too. I want to do shout outs a little bit to PC419 in that round though. You had Pun pull off some pretty good roams on the Jaeger, gave the support that his team needed. Of course, you know, you have Steffi coming back in through a lot of that, picking up a lot of very important kills as well. Just, I think it was a triple kill within a few seconds as well. So, big value plays coming out from PC419, kind of like the plays we did see earlier on this map, right? Round 1, round 2, very close rounds to wire. Rufflecopter did pull him out, but PC419, it's not like they were getting crushed earlier on.
Yeah, look, here right now, PC419 need to make sure that they just reset themselves mentally and morally, because after being stopped like that on the first half, that will be quite a tilting result. So maybe here they might just be able to bring this back. Still too early to say, but already the first round, a win on the second half is a good beginning. Vlad taking quite a hefty amount of damage without even being able to dish out any back, and that is quite an unfortunate beginning here for the man. But we've seen already a fair few times when he would be quite low in health but still be able to retaliate. No, not this time though. Campo just, he doesn't forgive.
Yeah, that one's really greedy. I mean, you're probably expecting them to be repelling anyway, so it's going to be hard to make that shot. They'll get you first, but here we go. Shaq moving around. He's hunting. He's hunting, but that shot is going to give away a little bit of a position. But there it is, his first opponent. He's swinging for the shots. Will eventually get it. A lot of whiffs from both players, but Shaq cleans it up in the end.
Yeah, but with quite a hefty price that he paid as well. The fact that he is just about above 1/4 of his HP. Tesla already took quite some damage as well, so further down the line, some of these gunfights would be definitely skewed in favor of the attack. But right now, let's see if Shaq will be hunted down, though, because Rigbo already finds the shot into Steffi. 3v4. There's the peak. There's this play, actually, by Shaw's able to get rid of Campo as well, funnily enough. And now it's a 3v3.
He's got to watch his back, though, and he's doing exactly that. In fact, actually running into danger again. We'll be in the line of sight of Rigba, who takes his life, but now we're looking at only 2 defenders left for PC419.
Oh, my.
This is a hiding spot. Tesla, he's trying to be pretty cheeky with that one. Pun's just got a standard little swing going out here. Gets one and actually dodges the retaliation. Can he get back down the stairs as well? What a great little prize.
Man, Pun is able to just run away scot-free. Main issue here for Rufflecopter is that they couldn't read it into the fact that there was nobody on site, so they could have gone for a very easy plan. But alas, nothing really happened. About to go maybe for a swing, but no, again, worst possible beginning there and worst possible timing as OJ.
He just looks at it.
He's just like, well, heck, that happened. Oh, the Deptra is able to finally get something going, and well, the breaches are going to start to happen. But now it's back once again to the fact that both of the players from each team will have to move over to those breaches and try to contest them. There's one presence from up above, so technically they could isolate those gunfights. Already find the Kayet, going for the swing, find the frag. Now it's down to Tesla. 1v2 situation, 26 seconds remaining. Nearly finds the frag, but no. Rufflecopter, 7-1 victory.
Got a little dicey at the end there, but 2-0 will be the series win for Rufflecopter. Huge plays coming out from them tonight. A beautiful half with a 6-0 when they go to Consulate on their opponent's map pick as well. And now they're at the top of the leaderboard.
Now, indeed, yes, top of the leaderboard. even Exto won't be able to get back to the first place after even the fact that if they will win out their matchup against Skyfire. But look, that is a stellar performance here from Rufflecopter, especially on their opponent's map pick, that is Consulate. A 7-1 victory with a flawless defensive half. Now that is one way to really make a statement there. And, well, OJ lived up to all his statements during the interview as well.
Yeah, look, I'm going to say it's going to be pretty hard to pick the Vodafone MVP out of that one because a lot of people did pop off. I mean, Campo, he went pretty crazy on that one. So, I mean, he'd probably be one of my top considerations, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see and look back on that one. That's how tough it's going to be. But guys, that is our first match. That's now Rufflecopter with the 2-0, and they'll be back next week, of course. So coming up after the break, we've got our last match of the week. It's going to be Exto Gaming versus Skyfire. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to LPL Pro 3 Rainbow Six, brought to you by WD Black, the fastest SSDs around. We just saw a pretty sweet 2-0 coming out from Rufflecopter GG against PC419. Now, Rufflecopter are sitting up in first place.
Yes, now they've managed to fully solidify themselves in that first place position, which, well, solidifies themselves a pretty safe sleep as well, especially with the fact that Exto could have been breathing down their neck, but not anymore, even if with the fact, even if there is a possibility for Exto to gain themselves a 2-0 tonight.
That's right, because their match is coming up next. It's Exto versus Skyfire. Both teams sitting in 4th and 5th respectively. Skyfire single point behind, oh no, 2 points behind actually, so they really want to get this, win the 2-0 rather than just the draw. I mean, obviously, so would Exto. That helps them get that first place. But this is the battle to get into the playoffs for Skyfire. This is where they need to get it done. So I think we'll just jump right into looking at the rosters here, Cthulhu.
Yeah.
We want to look at these teams and see what they're bringing to the table. So first up, it's going to be Exto. Of course, these guys had a great Season 2. Here they are in Season 3, having a pretty good run as well, but they're sitting in 4th place right now.
Yeah, 4th place right now, a little bit over fall from grace comparative to their performances during Season 2 regular part, or regular round robin season. And now they are looking at maybe making a return. The recent addition of Oblivion to Exto has seen them to kind of return back to their shape. Oblivion has been doing some pretty cool stuff for his roster. As well as that, Edpan still sticks roster for a little bit, and he is also quite a phenomenal player, I gotta say. But big highlight for me, Jordy. Man is quite powerful on his IQGA, and the man can do quite some damage.
Yeah, Jordy definitely stepping up this season, but their opponents, of course, are Skyfire last season's Giants. You definitely don't want to mess around with these guys, but sitting in 5th place right now, maybe have some room to. How are they going to come back into this one to score a 2-0?
Look, they will need to pretty much muster all of their power really here and see if maybe they can get some maps, well, favorable for them. To be honest, I am curious. What will they really bring up for themselves here? Because, look, Jigsaw is probably the biggest kind of showcase of power here from Skyfire, but I've been mentioning this before. The whole roster is very powerful and can go for solo plays, each and one of these players. So I wouldn't exclude that we shall be seeing, say, some of these 1v2s, 1v3s, and for Skyfire really to clutch it out.
Yeah, Skyfire have had some pretty big strengths in clutching out rounds where really they should not have been winning them. But there it is. I think we'll take a look at the key player matchup as well, because you're talking about a lot of these coming down to, 1v2s. But I want to talk about how it comes down to 1v1s. So on our key player matchup, Jordy and Jigsaw, it's the battle of the Jays here.
Yeah.
You've already said Jordy's impressed you, but has Jigsaw come in and made you smile a little bit?
Jigsaw honestly just been pretty consistent on some of his frags, some of his just flex/entry frags. So it's been a very interesting season for him, because he, on a few occasions, he couldn't really do a whole lot of things. He would be shut down pretty quickly, and he would be kind of the target player, I suppose, for the opposing teams. And if he is being kind of more so ignored, and say Smacker is able to help him pop off, or rather pops off parallel to him as well, then Jigsaw can really go off and pretty much dominate the scoreline there for himself.
And now one last thing, Cthulhu, we got to touch on before we get into the game itself is what maps maps we're going to be going to. And well, we've got a fun one, of course. Skyfire's in the series, so Coastline's going to be the first map. Although, do my eyes deceive me? Because that is Exto picking that map up. Skyfire is actually going to go for the clubhouse. Another favorite map for them, so not out of territory at all, but...
Yeah. It almost feels like it's one of those kind of maps that's similar to how Rufflecopter have been kind of using, because we've seen Skyfire play a whole lot of Oregon as well. And Oregon has been one of those kind of maps, it seems, that has been already quite heavily counter-stratted against them. So Skyfire is seeming to be kind of taking a departure from the Coastline and Oregon. Now they go into the clubhouse. But Coastline pick from Exo is definitely quite an experimental one, just because it will be definitely a frag fest. I can assure you about that. The thing is, how prepared are Exto for that frag fest, I suppose, and how are Skyfire feeling about, well, pretty much returning back to their roots or to their very much original map pick at the beginning of, I believe, Season 2, if not the end of Season 1, I believe.
Oh, they've been picking it for a while.
They've been picking it for a while, so yeah, it's, well, we've both been expecting.
Yeah.
Either Coastline or an Oregon, but not from Exto, I suppose. So these are the two maps that we shall be seeing. We might be seeing some of the closer scorelines, but look, so far, the teams that we were expecting to have some really close matchups seem to have just absolute pub stomps against each one another. And then the teams that we expect to be absolutely rolled, on the contrary, make some absolutely stunning matches where we see overtimes, full rounds, full 15 rounds, and they give us a grand show, really.
To be fair, though, I mean, one of the maps we did call to be a little close was our first match today, and
True.
One of the maps was pretty close. Clubhouse was actually 7-5, so, you know, at least we were right on one of them, I suppose, which could, I mean, maybe be the case here tonight as well, because we've got Clubhouse coming up for map 2, but for map number 1, let's talk Coastline. It's frag heavy. An operator, I mean, a good example of this is we almost always see Blackbeard banned out on Coastline.
Yeah, Blackbeard is actually a pretty good decision here to be banned out as well. Either because for both the rosters, he could be a very powerful one. I have to say that maybe say a ban of another Nomad, potentially ban. Maybe go for something completely unconventional. Asher is off. You read that?
Yeah, I just fell off my, almost fell off my feet, not my box that I'm standing on to be as tall as you. That's, we made a joke last night, though, so we can't do it again. But yeah, look, we're just getting the players ready for the lobby, everyone. So I believe we're just waiting on what looks like 2 or 3 people. Once they're ready, we'll be jumping into it. But yeah, Coastline, like we said, a lot of windows to be able to shoot through. Probably a good reason Blackbeard's taken out of the picture as well. But yeah, big frag fest that's possible on this map. So does it kind of say that Exto are saying, we think we're going to be able to outfrag you? We think we're better mechanically? Is that what they're going to be saying?
Look, that could be the case because, well, Skyfire did end up picking the defense as their starting side as well for this match, or rather for this map. And maybe they should be able to get themselves an early advantage. But as of recently, it felt like Coastline was starting to slowly become one of those almost attacker-sided maps, where it's the attackers that kind of dictate the general pace of how much time is being given out to the defense to kind of prepare to go for some of the roams, or maybe going for some of the swings. And if Skyfire will be able to really prevent any of those swings, this is where they should be able to dominate the scoreline, really.
Yeah, well, we're moments away, guys, but before we jump right into the match, we did actually catch up with Sawyer to have some words to share about the match before we get into it. So we'll hear from him and then get right into Coastline.
So our match against Skyfire, the last time we played them and the only time we played them was the final game of the regular season in Season 2. We did not go at 100% because we essentially knew that we were in finals, so we weren't hiding strats, but we were just taking a chill.
Skyfire steal first place.
And that's a game that we regret heavily. We know that we would have won that night. We copped a pretty big stick for losing that match, which we know we were all over them that night, going at about 60%. So this is the revenge that we want. We'll just see different roster now. So not the same, not too bothered by their roster. I think it's just they're good fragging power, but that's about it. So, but if we believe if we tried that night, they wouldn't have even made finals. So it's like, yeah, we just want that revenge.
I mean, yeah, he's right. There's a lot on the line for this map. I mean, not even just for that spot in the playoffs, but also a little bit of history. I mean, remember that it was Skyfire that stole the first place seed from the round robin from Exto in Season 2. Yet here they are, not quite in that first place at the moment, but still in that position where Skyfire can steal their spot right away from them.
Yeah, and Sawyer does actually touch up on a pretty good point as well. The fact that both of the rosters have seen a slight change here and there. Namely, it's just the Exto that has seen a little bit of a change. So he still feels fairly confident about their play, but he definitely acknowledges that this is going to be quite a rough one, quite a tough matchup for both of these sides. So, well, the only thing remaining is to actually see and let the actions speak rather than the words, because we've already seen one team really prove, able to walk their walk and talk the talk. That is the Rufflecopter. Now it's down to pretty much either Exto or Skyfire to claim the position at the playoffs, and, well, or rather even just chance, really, because there's still a fair few weeks to watch for some of their plays, and maybe a few upsets could be made here, but yeah, it's all just a matter of time.
The other thing as well is that with Skyfire 2 points behind in the leaderboard, they're sitting in 5th. They also actually have both Bance and Elemental kind of on their tails. I think both of them are actually currently tied with Skyfire. So
yes,
they're actually on the same amount of points. So, you know, it's interesting that we keep calling Skyfire 5th when, you know, there's actually 2 other teams sitting right there with them. So really everyone could be fighting for this spot. So if Skyfire leaves this week with a big fat 0 points, then, well, they're going to be in the exact same position as those other 2 teams. And then suddenly you've got 3 teams fighting for that spot that's now, you know, because Exto would have to get the 2-0, is now even further away. That would put them 5 points away. That would be 2 weeks of 2-0s.
Yes.
That you would need to crack into the playoffs. So actually, a 2-0 here would basically shut Skyfire and Elemental and Bance out entirely.
Now, imagine this scary, actually, picture.
Uh-huh.
If Skyfire loses this, so it keeps them at the same scoreline as Elemental and Bance. And Bance win out 2 of their games, which pushes Skyfire into the potential danger of the relegation.
Bance and Skyfire have they played?
Pretty sure the Bance and Skyfire played, but it's more so just the further matches before Skyfire plays against them or one of them again. That is still, nonetheless, that is very scary for Skyfire to really look at. And, well, also another avenue to really look at is, well, map number 1, as we're just about to jump right into it. It is Coastline. The shiny Ibiza of Spain will be played out here. It's Skyfire to ban out first, and it's going to be Lion out of all of the operators. Now, that is a very interesting one, just for the sheer fact that, well, Lion is a very rare ban as of recently, and, well, he's no longer broken, he's no longer a busted operator, but he will still be able to swing a few plays. And, well, just like I said, unusual bans. Exactly the right way where Exto are thinking. They are trying to eliminate all those aggressive operators that could be utilized very frequently by Skyfire. And another one in the face of Smoke. No longer there will be the operator to deny the time for any longer. My goodness, what are those bans? I'm just shocked already.
What else are you gonna ban here at this point to keep up the trend? Because everything's been kind of out of the picture, but I mean, to bring it back to a little bit of normalcy here, Cthulhu, Mirror will be the next ban. Still a very strong operator on Coastline, so not really a surprise to see her taken away.
I'm more so just surprised at the fact that it's Skyfire that are going for those very, very standardized bans. It's usually, I would be expecting people like Skyfire to go for those unpredictable bans. They're the masters of chaos, I suppose. But yeah, look. Our observer is already joking about maybe miscs there by the team of Exto Gaming, but hey, it is what it is. We are going to be continuing with the game, and oh man, I'm already quite excited. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean, look, Coastline, I love it when you see the interesting bans come out, because it kind of says that the team has something interesting to do. Ying has actually been locked in already, so you know that something fun and crazy is probably going to come out when Ying shows up to the party. So Exto already themselves running some cool little strategies, but then you look over on defensive side, they're obviously a little bit more limited in what they can do with no smoke. You're gonna have to bring out someone like Goyo to burn down the clock on the side, but then you've also got Smacker bringing out a special, bringing out the Vigil to open things up on this important series. This is a man to watch when he plays that Vigil.
Yeah, Smacker was actually pretty consistent on his Vigil plays on a fair few occasions, so he just might be able to bring in that
10 seconds remaining.
unknown variable, or rather unexpected variable, to the roster of Skyfire, and maybe just able to turn the tide there for his team and himself. But time will tell, because right now the action phase will be starting, and we shall be seeing what will be the potential final outcome of the first round.
Well, with Skyfire on defense, we don't get to see too much craziness happen, or do we? Because you've got Smacker. He was hanging out with his buddy Jigsaw, by the way. Bit of a James Bond thing. He's Evan going, so why not? So they'll be potentially roaming around, definitely Smacker, but I want to see, does Jigsaw actually go back to the side? Does he continue to roam? It looks like Smacker is getting his roaming done. He's already grabbed that first blood.
A captain on the captain violence. Sawyer, the person who was designated to hunt the Romans, will be taken down pretty quickly, and that is the first blood drained now. As well, Dark will need to go in for the swing and go in for the peak. Jordy instead is one to find the shot onto Archie, and yeah, Jordy not particularly just excited about his own aim.
He's shaking off the COD aim as well. You know, you always got to do it. It's kind of like clanking the tongs before you got to grab whatever it is out of the pan. But yep, Jordy's now back into it. He gets the kill, which is the important thing anyway. So this is now even things back up. You've got the 4v4 going. The big swing coming on in, but Jordy could be under fire pretty soon. He wants to get out of here pretty quickly, and it looks like he's going to be able to pretty easily. So he's safe for now. But half the round has now gone down. We still have Smacker, who's running around in the wings somewhere. So someone's got to track him down. It's possible for Jordy to, with IQ device, but you know, it's got to be the right timing for sure. Dark, in the meantime, has lost a little bit of health from his pretty far back position too. But here's Mitchie. When do the Candelas come out? When do we see them blind absolutely everyone? Here we go. Everyone's gonna be blind, and here's all the smoke to cover it out too. The plant's gonna go down, hopefully without a hitch. Mitchie gonna be locking that one down. Does get to confirm. Oh! He gets knocked down to the ground, cleaned up with the C4 as well, and then his buddies as well.
All right. Skyfire kicking things off with a very explosive round, gotta say. And look, that is quite a way to set things up there for themselves, to see maybe if they can find some initial momentum.
Okay, Impacts cancel the plant now. I don't remember seeing that in the patch notes. We read the designer notes, you know, pretty thoroughly together, but
I don't think I've seen any of that. But that is,
that's interesting. But anyway,
okay.
It did get cleaned up pretty quickly. I think it would have got clipped by the C4 regardless, so wouldn't have really made a difference in that round. But for that, it's still a win for Skyfire. They're still swinging around with the fun little picks. I love seeing Alibi always come up. The mind games you can play with that on top of just everything else you can do with the operator. It just makes it such a fun one to watch, you know? So, Smacker was another big player from the last game. You know, he got rid of the Jackal, got rid of Sawyer, and so with that, he could just have complete free roam around the map after that, and was just a constant thorn. So that could be the difference in this on Cthulhu, if Sawyer can stay alive, and they don't just let Smacker grab the first kill. At least for free.
At least for free, yeah. That'll be what Smacker would really need as well. Because he kicked things off pretty well for his team as a Vigil. Maybe here they just might be able to do the same. I'm quite curious about that impact trick, which I'll definitely need to research myself later on. For now though, SKF, looking at their lineup, very information denial and acquisition heavy. You have Valkyrie, you have Alibi, you have Mute for the information denial, as well as that there's Smacker that theoretically can be considered as a crack control and info gathering as well with his Lucy charges.
It's almost like she can do it all. Very powerful operator indeed, but here we go, Sawyer. We wanted to keep this man alive, but he just goes straight into shooting onto the site. And we are getting some, not quite the best visuals, of course, but I mean, the point is, I think he's still alive. Yeah, he's still alive. There we go. At the end of the day, though, Smacker will be the one to still get that first blood onto Dark this time.
Yeah. Look, the peak was so strong that we might be having a few feed issues for us. But that is a nice tint of gray there, I gotta say. Smacker, after looking at so much gray, will be attempting to go in for yet another swing. Can he find though that frag? I'm not too sure, but it's still very much under a large question mark here for us. Not too sure if the observer is still with us. Oh, we back. Player does actually get the C4 kill. That's already a kill onto Oblivion. The drop in by Mitchie is there, yeah, look. Right now, we just about having as many issues with the viewing experience as you might do, dear viewers. But yeah, look. Right now, it's a 4v2 situation. Skyfire might just be able to win out. Already, Dark is dead. It's all down to Jordy. And look, right now, it could be an issue.
Yeah, and speaking of issues, obviously we're running into a few of our own guys, so just bear with us for now. At least we still get to get the context a little bit in clips, so we can see, obviously, Skyfire have cleaned this one out, and Geordie's probably not too long for this world. We've got our best technicians coming to fix it, guys, so don't worry. They'll be here any moment, I believe, to save us from this, because we want to watch the game as well. I want to see if Geordie can clutch out this 1v3. It'd be pretty impressive if he did, to get the first point on the board for Exo. I was really hoping that one would be the one where we get to keep going and stop this freezing nonsense. But hey, it is what it is, I suppose. We'll have to bear through it. Try and make do with how it's going. Just like Geordie has to make do with this situation he's in right now. Somehow still alive, despite standing in place for like 10 seconds at a time, apparently, according to our feed. But there it is. At least we might get the replay of how it happened. There it is, just caught running across the hall. And well, what a shame. Yeah. What a shame.
What a shame indeed. Well, unfortunately, stutters do seem to plague us a little bit here, ladies and gentlemen. Do bear with us as we shall be continuing our broadcast here, no matter what. Already the picks do come around. It's Blue Bar and Sunrise that will be picked here by Skyfire after they claim their second round in a row. And, well, maybe, just maybe, Exo might just be able to make a comeback here. There is a switch over for Mateus to bring in a pulse here. And I believe Smack is actually switching over to the anchor position. And, oh, man, things might get rough here for Exo if they won't be able to find any kind of momentum for themselves.
I mean, yeah, for sure. I mean, that last round was pretty crushing in terms of, you know, how many people were left alive. It wasn't really much contesting for Exo. You still had Skyfire, Smacker picking up that first blood on the Vigil. Now he's moved over to the Maestro, though. Still a very powerful operator for sure, but not very likely to be on that roam. Not like we usually see coming out from Maka. You want to keep your eyes on Mateus actually this round, because he's going to be tracking everybody from Exo and seeing if he can snag a sneaky C4 or set up, say, Archie or Player to get one for him instead. With his callouts, with his heartbeat sensor, should be able to do just exactly that. Don't worry, guys. I promise you, we've got a tech coming any moment to save us from these freezes. It's quite frustrating for sure, but hey, look, we're almost there. We're almost there.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Our issues will be fixed here. Fortunately, can't do much for the time being. We do see quite a few peaks from Oblivion, trying to find a few shots here, maybe for self onto one of the roamers. Maybe he could find a shot onto Smacker. Maybe some pressure could be applied onto the Sunrise initially. It's Mateus, though, that will get droned out here and could potentially catch a few bullets whilst being hunted. It's maybe Dark that will be able to find him. We'll have to see, because right now, still not a whole lot of solid information there for Exto Gaming to really net for themselves.
Yeah, really painful, you guys. But hey, look, at least, like I said, we're getting some snippets of information as it comes through to us in bite-sized pieces. As you can see, you can look at this freeze frame and analyze what's going on. You've got Geordie looking down the side. I assume he's already made some sort of breach there. And you look back at the players and, well, Geordie, he's still alive. So it's looking all right for Exto Gaming. They've got 3 people. It's still a 3v3 for sure. Jigsaw, not a whole lot of health, and a good position though. We'll make up for that lack of health, and we get to catch that kill at least. And maybe in a few seconds we'll see Geordie pick up this next one here, as he's got his line of sight right down there. He would need it to even it up, but it looks like it's just going to be Skyfire who pick up those kills anyway. And they pick up the round here. It's still going all the way to Skyfire, Cthulhu.
Yeah, well, we're just about to maybe get some help here with trying to get things underway. Oblivion unfortunately does disconnect from the lobby, so we just might have to return back to the to our cameras. That is, if the rehost will be approved here. Maybe we shall be seeing some changes, but apart from that, really, well, we're just about to head on.
Oh, wait.
Over. Oh,
no, he's back in.
He's back in. Yeah, no rehost will be done here. So wait, we just might be back into the game for the time being. Oh, maybe. Oh, just a few more stutters here. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. We are just trying to figure out. Yeah, it seems that, yeah, we are just gonna stick things through, as Oblivion did manage to make it right back into the play. And, well, looking at the choices, the main thing here is Oblivion's pick of Nook. I'm not too sure whether that was a random pick because of the fact that he just joined in, but nonetheless, he will be sticking to that op for the hooker attack, because right now things are certainly looking quite favorable here for Skyfire to potentially play for an upset for, yeah, for Exto's chances for the playoffs.
Well, it's going to be pretty rough for sure, but again, we got Smacker back on that vigil, so perhaps he's going to be looking for something here. Great success. Oh, no, I definitely cursed that one. I'm so sorry, Smacker. We come back and Geordie has already taken his head off. So, looks like the peak did not quite work out, but hey, that is a great start for Exto, who are 3 rounds behind.
3 rounds behind indeed. Skyfire establishing quite a dominant performance. But everything else is looking quite frozen there for Exto, as they just can't seem to be able to find themselves any kind of success really in their play. Maybe they shall be able to break the curse here once they will get on their own defense, but by that time, if they won't be able to gain themselves even 2 points, it might be just a little bit too late on their own map pick.
Oh yeah, I wonder what's happening here with Mateus. He should be alright. It looks like he shouldn't be swung on too hard, but whoever that is just around the corner might be going for it. Looks like they were, actually. Actually, no, that's Mitchie. Mitchie's been taken out. And so, with that, we're back down to the 4v4, and maybe Skyfire can pull out another one.
Maybe, just maybe. Well, with the trade already came around of Smacker to Mitchie, we just may see finally the round beginning rather favorable for Exto Gaming. And, well, it's only a big maybe, because so far things are looking a little bit dicey there. Mateus going for maybe a bit of a peak, maybe a bit of a swing. Could certainly happen. Well, we'll have to see. We'll have to see how things will really work out here. And
welcome back, guys. Obviously, we just hit some pretty serious technical issues, but we are back with LPL Pro Season 3, Rainbow Six Siege, Smite, Cthulhu. I think we're not going to waste any more time and get right back into the match. So, let's catch everyone up here, Cthulhu, because we've got Skyfire 4 rounds in a row. Exto still nothing.
Yeah, Skyfire needing to get their play underway, as we'll need to see if Exto are still yet to find themselves a dub here in the round. But apart from that, really, We'll need to see whether any further advancements will be made.
Yeah, so 3v3 here. It's Exto and Skyfire. It's real close. The plant's now going down as the Yin Candelas come on out everywhere. Player is hunting to see where they are. He finds the diffuser immediately. Sawyer's out of here. It didn't even get planted either, but it's still a 2v2. So Exto are still in this. Mitchie and Dark, but Dark falls as Archie and Player both up against Mitchie right now. He's out of the site. He's out of the building. So he's got some time. But just as I say that, 10 seconds remain. One kill. He needs one more. He needs to find this because he can't get the diffuser. But he's hiding away. Skyfire will not hand this win over and will get a 5th in a row.
Operators, you have run
My
out of time.
goodness, Skyfire seeming to be completely unrelenting there against Exto, not allowing a single bit of, well, single point to be really taken. 5-0 scoreline, and seeming that Skyfire are attempting to flex just about the same amount of finesse as Rufflecopter just did on Consulate.
Yeah, 5-0. I mean, we literally came into tonight saying, look, at least we get some really close matches tonight. And yet here we are, 5-0 on Coastline. Skyfire just incredibly ahead right now. The difference here from the last map, though, is that a lot of these rounds are looking very much in the control of Skyfire. That last one, a little bit iffy for sure, but, you know, they still held it down at the end. And so let's get back into this one. It's the last round of the half, and the only one stopping Skyfire from getting the perfect half. For now.
Yeah, for now, yeah. Look, even with a 5-1 scoreline, this is already going to be a flex and a half by Skyfire here. Making a big comeback on, well, a rather big return back to their OG pick frequently map, that is Coastline, and just showing why it was their favorite map to pick, why they were so dominant on this. Certainly could be looking at maybe beginning their push for the 2-0 here, but again, would be a little bit too early to state that, but at the very least, very real chance to get themselves a 7-1, 7-0 victory here on Coastline.
Coming into round 6, the Pulse Party with the 3 C4s is going to be run again by Skyfire. Jigsaw out here looking for a spawn peek. Didn't go so well last time we saw Smacker do it, but hey, look, at least he did not die. So it won't be anything, just a little bit of intel in the form of there's nobody over here.
Sawyer will be trying to find maybe some sort of utility, but right now I think he's looking at just not the right positions. Mitchie, poor Mitchie just gets completely blown off the game. Jigsaw also tries to get into a gunfight with Oblivion, but just a little bit too underpowered there because the 2x scope on the C7 is just a busted thing. Jigsaw,
He doesn't know.
oh, trying to run away because he needs to right now. He cannot contest neither the C7 nor the AK-12, and will be making just the right decision to fall back. Player makes the return fire onto Jordy, so that is the AK-12 and the ace off the board, but Oblivion, Dark, and Sawyer are still very much alive.
Oh, Exto though, they've got no hard breach, they've got no Candelas to secure the plant. They've used it so many rounds in a row, and now they don't have it for Mitchie. They might not get it, but Oblivion is trying to bring this round back on that Jackal. Gets the kill onto Mateus. Now the Pulse not calling out where they are. C4s may not be as deadly for now, but you know what's still very, very deadly is just shooting people. And Dark will grab that one, but he's still traded. He's still traded 2v2 Cthulhu. We've been here a few times. And Skyfire are here again. Oblivion, he really needs this shot. He really needs this kill, but they're not going to give it to him. There's still lots of time for Exto to get this 2v2 to work on out, but I don't think Skyfire are going to give them any extra seconds.
Yeah, look, at the very least, there's still a minute remaining to go.
They've got a Vulcan shield too.
Yeah, they still got a Vulcan shield there as well to play around, so there are a few ways about it. Archie and Player have a very stable ground to really play on, so right now the fuse needs to start happening. There is still a C4 in the hands of Archie, so the throwout could really happen here. A pixel angle to be viewed at. He can see the leg, but just cannot connect it, cannot control that recoil just enough. Still afraid about the flank, but now he needs to know that there's two people.
Yeah, surely he knows there's two people there by now. They're still watching the other doors just to be sure. Oblivion keeping an eye on that one. 30 seconds now. They've run down half the time they have, so they might actually be able to do this. The plant now finally going down, but he hears it, baits it, but it's still a C4 to do a lot of damage. Player now down though, so it's all up to Archie. Sawyer's going for the plant. Oh no, and Archie will get ripped apart going through the wall, and Exto finally get one on the board.
They will not be allowing Skyfire to get the flawless first half, but already the damage has been dealt here. The 5-1 first half is certainly gonna sting there for EXO, but it's not over yet. They have a 4-round differential. Skyfire need only 2 rounds to win here, which is very much of a possible thing that could happen. So with that said, Hookah Lounge and Billiards Room will be the first place to defend here by EXO. I nearly say Noble because of Sawyer's tags, but looking at their lineup, bringing in Capcan and Legion, and as well as that, locking, well, oh, thanks Sawyer. I nearly got excited for the dual trap meta, but Sawyer decides to pick a Melusi, which will be theoretically a better thing to really pick, and well, we'll be rather playing for a slowdown in the post-site entry.
It's still kind of, it's still a trap, just because it doesn't explode in your face, Cthulhu.
Need to make more boom.
I love good old Capcan as well. When you just don't want to think about what you're doing, just go and plant them on all the doors. Who cares? Casual play, always so much fun. But Capcan will not make an appearance in this round. Skyfire now are on the attack. We've said a few times that if a team starts demolishing, then maybe we're going to wait until the second half to see if that continues. But 5-1 on the defense is always a huge play to make. And so, now that they're on attack, can they continue to do it?
Yeah, that will be the prime question here for both of the teams, as a matter of fact. Can Exto make the return, make the comeback, and muster up some more strength for themselves, or whether Skyfire will be just able to run away with their opponent's map pick? So, that is still a question to be answered. And since neither of the teams have a fully solid plan just yet, a swing from Jigsaw could be seeing his demise, but instead it's the Mozzies, the flick. Oh, that's gonna hurt for Oblivion. He had the element of surprise as well, but could not really do much after that. Dark, forced to fall back out of his position before he gets swarmed over at the security, will be a pretty good idea, and well, yeah, that's all that she wrote, at least for now. Given that now we just having a little bit of a calm before the storm, I suppose.
Yeah, well, maybe it's not so calm for Oblivion, who has been taken out already, but yeah, that felt pretty bad. You saw the swing come out. He was already looking the wrong way, but the flick, just 2 on point. So, they get the advantage already. This is a great start if you're Skyfire, but still 4 people to get through on the defensive side. But, oh man, hitting the metal beams always feels bad. On that one, as IQ, never feels good. But here we go, another one. Geordie actually getting the C4 onto player. That's the sledge gone, so no opening up the floor above.
Yeah, that's a yummy C4 as well, gotta say, for Skyfire to eat up, and well, player will be potentially just restarting and hoping that he will be able to rejoin the lobby. Either way, for now, it is going to be a 4 versus 4. Skyfire still looking a little bit tagged up there, so we just might be able to see maybe if they will be able to make a comeback here and take the yet another round for themselves to push it into match point. But with 58 seconds remaining, they are just about to be ready to make the entry onto the site, and they just need to find maybe an entry frag before they go in for the plan.
Oh, they're keeping an eye on that doorway, on that rotation hole. In fact, they also know Sawyer's just right around the corner too. A lot of crossfires set up for Skyfire to walk into, but Geordie getting found, opens the door wide open. Dark trying to shut it, but they're already pushing it open. 1 foot inside. Sawyer chucks the C4, but it's too late, mate. They're in your house. And it's going to be Skyfire to get the plant. Mitchie trying to save the day, but only 1 so far. He's going to need a hell of a lot more than that, and I do not think Skyfire are going to let him have it.
Yeah, Mitchie is in a bit of a pickle here, trying to get a few frags in here before he goes down, but just a few blind pre-fires, and that is about it. That's all he can muster up. Mateus is the one to shut it down. It is round 7. It is Skyfire to take the match point for themselves.
Oh, and it might have been like 1 round difference here, but Exo are basically coming out of the first half, and now they're already facing that match point where they've got to win 5 in a row. Of course, looks like player has not rejoined the lobby just yet, so Rehost probably. Oh,
He's back.
what a legend. What a legend. We don't have to wait. So, player getting back in, hopefully can lock in what he needs to. The Amaru gets
I think that's a random pick.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that is random, although Coastline, so maybe. The other one that's kind of, yeah, there it is. So it's going to be swapped out to the IQ. I don't want to say anything. I don't want to get my hopes up. I'm not going to say anything until that 0 second comes up, and that, well, I was going to say that's why. Holy crap, he actually locked it in. Sawyer, the madman, the legend.
Yeah, look, Sawyer, I think at this point, Sawyer might be just kind of admitting the L here and just kind of trying to just enjoy his time, or maybe not. Maybe he was genuinely just AFK and then tried to 6-pick, but then just went AFK again. Who knows? He is alive. He is back. Chunka Turret will be making the appearance. I actually am very curious if that Chunka Turret will be able to make a whole lot of difference, because if you position it correctly, you can only really expose kind of your lower, your waistline and the belly, and that is about it. Whilst you have your feet, your head, and the upper torso also reinforced. Sawyer, you were right there, buddy.
They're trying to wake him up with some impacts, but yeah, there it worked. So if that ever happens to you guys in solo queue, just throw an impact at your lagging teammate, and apparently it works out.
Fixes the internet.
Yeah.
Imagine, if that's the solution for Exto, does it mean that they just found the global solution how to fix Australian internet?
Yeah, just chuck an
impact at the router to get it scared.
I was going to say chuck it at ScoMo, but I don't think we're allowed to say that.
Here we go. I don't think that is a big oopsie.
Well, yeah, that's why I stopped myself quite quickly, but here we go. Already inside, Jigsaw has made his presence known, but Mitchie is going to be locking down his own site here on the billiards, along with the powerful Tachanka as well, but Oblivion on the Mozzie has already got that first kill.
Early beginning is a good one here for Exto to kick things off. Mateus, the person who was able to get the few frags previously, is, he's going to be enjoying it from the spectator view. While Sawyer already gets downed, I think man needs to wake up once again, but it seems that...
Where's the rework? He needs his withstand.
Yeah. Funnily enough, Jigsaw actually uses his impact grenades to get rid of the Chunk. As well as that, Jigsaw continues his rampage to get rid of Dark as well. And that is the Jaeger going off the board. They still need to find Mitchie, Jordy, and Oblivion, because Oblivion is currently going on a tear. Gets himself that second kill. Finds his teammate taking quite some damage as well from the ruins, but not being able to dish out any back. And back to a 3 versus 3. That is now a much more stable situation that they could have found themselves a few seconds earlier.
Yeah, this is the man to watch though. It's Oblivion, although someone else was watching him. Surprisingly not getting the kill, but they do clean it up. Archie will get it in the end anyway. Still 2v2 though, because it's just a trade. Can he get Geordie back up? No way, Jose. Smacker will shut that option down. Just Mitchie left. He would have loved to jump on the Tachanka turret just for the memes, but Skyfire will pick up Coastline.
Oh man. Just like that, another 7-1 Smite. Back to back, as a matter of fact. We're seeing a 7-1 from Rufflecopter against PC419, and now it's Skyfire against Exo that are feeling quite confident there for themselves. Look, I'm amazed by how quick that match went, and GG, well played.
Yeah, it was quite a devastating loss, actually, coming in for Exo on that one. They're going to have to come back pretty strong, because remember, what we said at the top of the series is that 2-0 is incredibly important for both teams for several kind of different reasons, but for Skyfire, this is their ticket back in. They've got the first stamp on that ticket. They just need to get the next one to really lock it in. But for Exo, right now, it's just making sure they don't leave the door open for teams like Bants and Elemental to slip into playoffs.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. Right now for EXO, they need to play for an upset here. They need to pretty much prevent Skyfire from getting that 2-0 and from outing EXO out of that 4th spot, I believe. And, well, that all is going to be done on the Clubhouse.
That's right, and that one is coming up after the break, so go grab a drink, hydrate yourself, because when we return, we're hitting up the club. Welcome back, everybody. It's LPL Pro Rainbow Six Siege season number Zwei. Well, actually, Iron Zwei season dry. There we go. I tried to pull out another language for number 3 on a whim. Don't ever do that. It's
Season 3.
It's like doing it's not fair if you're fluent in the other language already. Okay, but it's like doing maths on stream. Don't do it. We're in the middle of a series right now, you guys, and we've got one game up already for Skyfire, and what a game it was.
Oh man.
7-1 to Exto, who now have to come back on their opponent's map pick on Clubhouse.
Well, talking about Clubhouse, here we go. We're already going straight away into the ban phase, as well, Skyfire did already manage to get themselves a nice, quick, cheeky dub. And, well, it is going to be the first ban of Capital of Exto. It's Skyfire's ban, or rather, yeah, Skyfire ban will be the Maverick. And the second, the defense ban, I would assume it will be something across the lines of
Kaid or something.
Kaid, maybe, yeah.
Lamai possibly is like quite popular.
Exto are not particularly enjoying the fact that Maverick has been banned out, because whilst Exto is seeming to be just vibing with some of these odd, I suppose, bans, Skyfire are going for just fresh out the sweatshirts bans with the Kaid and Maverick. Well, last one about to be probably the most, even more unconventional, maybe a smoke ban to be done here. Instead, no, it's just going to be Mira. Exto are going to be sticking to a bit more conventional decisions.
I was kind of hoping they'd go like full Clown Fiesta and ban Bandit, but that's I guess Mira's going to be all right, and it's a bit more of a normal ban, so we do get to be a little bit normal here on Clubhouse, of course, but hey, look, you still have most of the breaches available, you still have Thatcher available, so most of the regular hatches are still going to be just as possible as they usually are. You can't just send Maverick down to the dirt tunnel, though, although looks like someone dropping out of the lobby. We are going to be going for the rehost.
Fresh rehost. Been a while since we've had one as well. Well, rehost will be commenced here by Exto, as we, at the very least, have at least concluded the ban phase. So we'll know at least which operators are not going to be played, and that is Capital, Maverick. Who else was there?
The
Maverick.
The bans.
Mira.
Yeah, Mira, and then Kaid was the other
Kaid,
ban.
that's right. I was missing out on Kaid. Well, either way, those bans are present now.
Yeah, I imagine they'll probably. I don't think they're locked into the same picks, because they didn't get locked in until the rehost was called, so should be all right. But I guess we'll get there when we get it. At least it's not right in the middle of the match. We just get a moment to take a breath, think about where we are, because we've just seen Skyfire, to put it simply, crush their opponent's Exto on the first map, on their opponent's map pick on Coastline. Always a rough one to pick Coastline into. Skyfire kind of showing why, but now that we're on Clubhouse, remember, this is the map that things were a little bit more normal in the first series, Cthulu.
Yeah,
at least in the scoreline.
At least in the scoreline. First series of the first match has definitely been a bit more conventional. It was a 7-4, I believe. And PC419 were putting up quite a nice fight, but after that it just seemed to have gone absolutely downhill for them from there on. Similar things seems to be happening here for Exto as well.
Just in reverse.
Just in reverse completely, yeah. The seeming to be a little bit kind of almost looking burnt out, maybe. Maybe their morale has been completely crushed, who knows, but for what we know for sure, Skyfire already have themselves a map point, and they're certainly looking at getting themselves the other map as well to push it into 2-0 and force now themselves into that top 4 and force Exto out of that position. So, well, that's still a question to be answered, because we still yet to have the full map to be played out. But apart from that, look, Smite, I'm thoroughly excited to see what will be the conclusion of this matchup, because this will definitely shape up a very interesting top 4 bracket. That could potentially be reinforced in the further matches, or maybe it will be reshuffled multiple times further down the line, as we still have, I believe, 3 more weeks of the play days.
After today, we've got 2 more weeks.
That's right, yes, because week 4 concludes.
Week
so
4,
2
week
more
5.
weeks of the normal play days, and then I believe 3 weeks of 3 play days of playoffs.
Yeah. So we got a while to go for everyone to clean up all of their matches here. I think you're actually right. It was 3 weeks remaining. What am I talking about? 4 plus 3 is 7, as we all know, and we're just about to finish number 4. So, hey, look, there's still a lot of matches. Look, this is again why you don't do maths on stream, even when it's a simple addition. And yeah, I kind of ruined it, so I'll take the bad on that one. But hey, look, Skyfire in the lead right now. Like I said, super important for them to get the 2-0. And look, I'm finding it hard to think of reasons that Exto are going to stop this happening right now. They'd have to really recover after a crushing loss, and then come back with a plan on Clubhouse. We've already had the bans come out, so they would have had to make that plan already. But they've got time to think about it again a little bit more now.
I think, at the very least here, Exto have the chance of getting some early points for themselves just because they are starting on the defense. We've seen quite a good defense from Rufflecopter as well previously.
Yep.
And we've seen how good can that defense be if you being that continuous nuisance for the opponent team. And if Exo are able to do the very same thing, say Oblivion plays that Jaeger or maybe Dark or Mitchie, then this could be a very quick turnaround for Exo. That is, though, if Skyfire are going to be waffling around with some of the attack, which I, again, doubt. Their push during Coastline on that first attack round was a very good showcase of how good can they hold their angles when they drone it out, when they figure out where do they want to keep their angles, and kind of from there, keep on snowballing their progression.
All right, one more player to join the lobby, and we'll be getting it right back up, ready to go. Of course, we want everyone in the field to make it a fair match. Remember, because we've been saying how important this match certainly is, that you definitely want to have the fairest one possible. We saw, just on a little off note, saw a really good little bit of sportsmanship from Shadownet last night. So, want to shout them out again for allowing that extra rehost. But yeah, look, one more player to join here, and then we'll be able to jump back into it. Of course, I'm keen to get into it. At least we aren't like seeing just one round and then having to wait. We get to sit here and think about what it all could mean. Did we see what the first site was? Because I think it was Church and Arsenal, but I don't want to call anything.
I mean, if it's a Church and Arsenal room, and this means that Exto do want to go for a little bit more of a kind of turtle heavy, maybe a little bit more of a passive hold, and just to wait for essentially Skyfire to come over to them and play off that aggression, which is not a bad idea given the fact how aggressive can Skyfire sometimes be. And playing off their own mistakes could be a big thing to really work around. That is, though, if Exto can hit their shots, because their defense on Coastline was definitely questionable. They managed to run away with a single win on attack, but that was about it. Couldn't really do a whole lot after that, and each one of their defense kind of ended up more so failing. Although had a few good beginnings for it, but couldn't really follow through. So here right now on this map, which does involve a little bit more than just fragging power, I reckon we might be seeing a little bit more of the kind of coordinated gameplay from Exto, a little bit more of strats being pulled out, and maybe something to kind of rub into Skyfire's face to say, hey, you know what? We're not ready to get out of this matchup just yet. We're not ready to take the L. Here you go. We're going to hand you the L instead on this map.
Yeah. I think, for Exto, the results are pretty important. On the flip side, if they can get the draw, there's a few good things that do happen. Yeah, they don't get to go start contesting for that first place seed, but it does, importantly, keep Skyfire down. You keep them just below you, still 2 points below you, because you both earn 1 point with a draw rather than the 3 from a 2-0. So keeping them below you, great already. You're keeping them out of playoffs. They're also still sitting down there kind of fighting Bance and Elemental while you're sitting up there trying to get a bit higher in the leaderboard. So a draw is still important. This is still an important map for Exo to win here on Clubhouse.
Yes. Yeah. Exto would want to play for that upset. as much as they humanly can, even though they seeming to be a little bit burnt out there, at least from their comments at the end of the first map. Maybe they were memeing around, who knows. We won't know the actual full truth until, well, probably post-match, really. But look, for the time being, we are still waiting for the player to come around. It's still one player AWOL, unfortunately. Maybe some technical difficulties, maybe something else.
I hope it's not tech issues again, because that is such a painful point, right? It happened to someone last night.
That was Dance.
It was last week, wasn't it? Yeah, yeah, and totally ruined a match for them. So really painful if we would end up having that one again, because we've just been saying, you know, Extra would love to at least come back in here and draw the series. But luckily, praise to Chanka, he is back in here. We finally have all 5 players from both sides, so we should be momentarily, once we get the go-ahead from the players, jumping into the match. So no more waiting for us, guys. We're just about to jump back in here. And all the theory crafting that me and Cthulu here have been brainstorming out, well, we get to put it to the test in just a moment's time.
Indeed. Well, there we go. Finally, Clubhouse will commence. And, well, actually, sides and ops are not going to be locked in that were initially picked during the, well, pre-rehost phase. And, well, there we go. Beginning of the first round. It is going to be Church and Arsenal Room nonetheless. Picked, like you said, Smite, they might just go for that side and just, well, get things on the way. The pick of Exo here really just emphasizes on the fact that they are going to be playing mostly for some more of a hunker-down plays. Decision of Mateus to actually bait in the Kali rather than the Nomad, it could be indicating that they are going to be looking out for the, not roam clear, but rather roam denial. And Dark's decision to stay on Valkyrie, well, will be a pretty good idea, given the fact how powerful can Valkyrie be, especially on the Church.
Yeah, I mean, the Nomad pick is probably the one that interests me the most. There's a lot of creative things you can do with it, whether it's in the dirt tunnel or just even from above when you're trying to get that hatch into the kitchen. So, you know, Nomad can pull off a lot of crazy things. It does rely probably on certain breaches actually happening, so definitely need to be looking after those players. You know, your Smacker on Habana, you want to look after him for sure. And even Archie, you know, you need those EMPs. As you can see, this annoying little bugger here, Geordie, makes us wait and then electrifies the walls.
Yeah, Geordie could really play for a few late flanks, maybe. He has the speed, he has the gun for that, and he has a C4 to boot at all. So 3 C4s total for Exo here to play around, whilst Skyfire will be bringing in a plethora of soft breaches, hard breaches, and some flank watch as well to kind of complete the roster, I suppose.
Okay, well, we saw pretty much everyone from Exo sitting down below, so roam clears might not be as important on the table right now. Smacker's just going to zoom on in and easily get his X-Kairos ready to go to open up the hatch, and it looks like there's going to be no contest. So he's going to be able to get his drone right down there, take a peek if he wants to too, but no, there it is, he gets shot out. Luckily, he packed a second one, he packed a spare, and so he's going to see if he can spot anyone out from there, but can't imagine that one's going to last a whole lot of time either. So, doors open, Smacker, and we've seen what we can inside. But here we go. Player, meanwhile, he's breaking his way through the dirt tunnel, and he's droned it out, but Oblivion is inching up towards him, and seeing if he can spot him out. Is there going to be a rush?
Just might be. At the very least, there's going to be another pressure point for Skyfire to play around now. Oblivion's job is going to be to deny. Oh, wait, was he droned around? No, he was droned out. Yep, at the end, I think player was just toying around with.
Yeah, I think that was he was baiting him for sure.
He was baiting definitely, but hey, at the very least, that does force Oblivion out of that position. So for now, it's just waiting for which team will make a mistake first. Smacker was nearly able to find a frag there, but instead it seems that for now we're just going to be waiting for maybe the push on the main stairs to see if they can roughen up the hive.
Well, they're running out of time. There's a minute to go, and we've got to start making the push at some point. Jigsaw's got his position locked down, so this is a great little spot to have. Dark, meanwhile, though, has been hanging out in a very, very interesting little spot here on the first floor. Sorry. bottom floor, and now Archie is going to drop down into danger, but looks like they're trapped in there with him, and the diffuser will be going down at the same time. Things are starting to fall apart. They get one kill though, but does the plant get confirmed? No, it doesn't. And Skyfire have to clean up this mess. It's still 3v2, but Geordie's on the hunt. But the hunter becomes the hunted, and only one remains. The plant will be completed. Sawyer wanting to deny it, but can't find a spot for the smoke.
Attackers are activating the diffuser.
Yeah, but do believe he also been spotted, so right now just trying to run out, see if he can maybe find a frag or two. Will not be quite successful, as Skyfire will continue their dominance here. So, well, all that effort for, unfortunately, no return there for Exto.
Still shows some pretty ballsy plays coming out from Skyfire. They went for a pretty aggressive plant. I mean, they still had a little bit of time.
Yeah.
You know, not the most, but probably not rush worthy. But they still got in there in the end and did get it done. And so even with whoever was going for the plant at the time, you know, they were still sitting down there. Obviously, they ended up dying, but Skyfire still won that fight, even with a man busy planting. So that's the crazy thing right now, is what does it look like when they go for a push like that and don't have to worry about getting the plant down, don't have to worry about putting that pressure up, and can just win the fight flat out.
That will be the grand question. For now, my personal question is how many rounds can Skyfire muster up on their attack? Because we've known so far quite a few storylines when one team would be absolutely phenomenal on their defense, but offense, just toss it in the burning pile and get it over with. But here it feels like Skyfire might just have found the remedy to some of their failures and able to patch up their attack. So that's just a theory for the time being, because they were able to find one win on this attack. Can they keep up the streak though? Now that is the bigger question.
Yeah, it's going to be a big ask for sure, especially on attack for Clubhouse. You know, it's always rough going into some of these setups. CCTV is always a pretty scary one. It's kind of interesting reinforcements they've got going on here in terms of where some of these riot shields are facing, but either way, it's still keen to see how it goes down. You've got the Bandit sitting there ready for the Bandit trick if he needs to. Smacker. Oh, gets a bit of damage on the Mitchie, but takes some back, so definitely not just for free. But here we go. This CCTV door, infamous for sure. And player on this ace, he wants to rip it down. He'll have Archie to back him up with the EMPs, so we get to play this little game where the Bandit dance happens. The Bandit tricks.
I think the EMP just bounced off his body. So
yeah, did that? Is that what that was?
Pretty sure that did, yeah.
Because I was like, surely he didn't get close enough to get zapped. I didn't think it was even zapped.
Maybe. Well, Oblivion, being very ballsy, decides to plant actually one of the Bandit charges to try to get rid of at least one of the ticks of the Selmas, but we will be partially successful there. Still, presence at the rafters, which is going to be quite a haunting feeling. 2 ADSs plus the 1 Maya magnets is going to mean a whole lot of projectiles that will need to be drained. That will need to drain rather the ADSs and all that utility.
We've also got an Evil Eye down at the end with the Maestro, so, you know, a lot of control over this room here, demanding that someone comes up and deals with Mitchie at some point. And just look at the pile of magnets he's got down. Mateus wants to try and find a shot on him, but Smacker finds it onto Oblivion. The Bandit actually now gone. But yeah, you've got Thor Mai to deal with. Geordie now taken out on that Maestro as well. Skyfire starting strong. Player has been taken away though. Smacker aiming down into the site. And Sawyer, he wants to save the round for sure, but this is it. This is Mitchie. He's moved his spot too, so they might not even be peeking it. Now with those shots, they'll be able to just immediately find his head, actually.
Alrighty.
Trigonometry, guys. Learn it.
Trigonometry indeed. Smacker about to wait for the final gunfight, but cannot connect the final shots onto Dark. He is the man on a mission, 1v3 situation with 25 HP. Will be attempting to go in for yet another peek. Goes in for damage, but Jigsaw just has a better gun, better aim, and more health. And poor Dark just gets completely forced out of that situation. And that is a second point for SKF to take.
Things are looking very blue today, Cthulhu. Skyfire, not a cloud on the sky right now, because it's all on fire. They are just demolishing Exeter right now. Some of these rounds, sure, they're not flawless at all, but it still always feels like it's very solidly in control of Skyfire. Dare I say more so than when we were on Coastline, now that we've moved to their map pick of Clubhouse.
Yeah, it certainly feels like this time Skyfire are even more trained up for a win here. Not only their old pick was brought on for them, and Exto kind of just almost gifted them that win on a silver play.
Attackers need to locate and
Maybe
defuse many
here
bombs.
it's going to be more so just now Skyfire serving themselves up in the all-you-can-eat buffet.
It does make it incredibly interesting on where all these teams stand, but
Yeah.
you can't discount what they're doing between the games. You know, practicing, getting better, and just building as a unit. A big example of that's got to be Shadownet, right? They've improved over the last few weeks, and so they can't be the only team that has been doing this. And Skyfire seems like they've very much upped their game to come in here and control a match against a team like Exto so well.
Yeah, they've been putting quite some effort into their plays, into their performances, so look, big props to Skyfire. I am curious though what is happening right now with Exto, given that technically yet another player of theirs has kind of, I would assume, stepped down from the main kind of captain / leading roles, that is Sawyer, who's just recently, I believe, been showcased, or rather announced as the coach for Noble. So definitely a different story for Sawyer, but still, Exto certainly are a force to be reckoned with. I wouldn't count them out of the general bracket at all. So it's more so just a question of, it seems, just who's a bit more powerful than the other.
Well, Skyfire is certainly showing up today, and I think that's definitely the story. Dark writes another page in that book, and Jigsaw gets taken down, so this could be the Exto Gaming round, but Dark will definitely want to survive this one. Oh, Jordy cleans up his mess, gets Smacker down. Will Dark get the next one? He will with the big
Oh, he
Dark.
goes for it!
He's still just back and forth, right to left, and triple kills come his way.
Oh my goodness. Continuously Qing and Ian all the time, leaning back in and out. Well, that does get him a very nice set of kills. Last man is Archie, trying to do something, maybe trying to go for a few exit frags, but that is seeming to be just about it. Another one to be thrown out as a bait, but right now he's just draining time. He's just trying to mess around with X2. Maybe not grant them another flawless round, and well, there we go. Flawless round denied. It's going to be another swing. Dark claiming his quad kill, and what a play. What a round, and finally Exto do break the curse.
Yeah, Dark, I mean, I don't want to say single-handedly stealing that round back and just saving, well, getting and securing the round for his team, because he also had Geordie backing him up too. Cleaned up one of the kills that we were calling him actually being in kind of trouble from, but it seems like he just was not in trouble at all, at least when he's got his homie Geordie around.
Yeah, Geordie did a pretty good job at just keeping up the pace there and being able to shut down the Hibana play. So with that said, we are making a return to Church, the site that was pretty confidently taken by Skyfire previously, so maybe we shall be seeing something different here from Exto now that they seeming to be a little bit back into their shape, being able to shut down whatever the push that was happening by Skyfire. So maybe this is the revival of Exto Gaming, but maybe I'm just calling it a little bit too early.
Well, look, Cthulhu, this is a much better start to the map than what we saw on Coastline. It was Skyfire to come out with a 5-1 half, so for Exo to actually get around on the board nice and early, it should make them feel a lot better, and I think they need that right now. They need that kind of boost to get back on their feet. To win this round, to even it up, I think we'd just secure that. They'd be back in their normal senses, ready to say, all right, cool, look, first map, a bit of a wash, whatever, but we're back here. But if Skyfire wins this one, and even the next round, and then we go to something like 4-1, 5-1, that's where, yeah, okay, Exo won't be coming back. So give it a few rounds. We'll see. Remember that Dark did a lot of the heavy lifting in the last round, so we'll watch him here again. He may be able to do so again. He hears the rappel likely, but is he going to be able to sneak out and go for the run-out kills again? That drone being killed should tip off Skyfire that he's around.
Skyfire right now being a little bit more cautious about how they want to approach this. Mateus now kind of almost feels like he's been sent off his high horse here after a few streaks of wins from Skyfire. We'll be looking to maybe find Dark, who has been pretty much the highlight of the previous round, which was able to break the general streak. Actually, as a matter of fact, 4-round streak from Skyfire. So maybe here Xto might be able to make yet another play to see themselves up and running. Another attempt at breaching will be done here, as I think it will be denied by another impact trig, but as of now, Dark is just still playing on the roam. Another attempt at the breach, this time will be completely successful, as Jordy has ran out of the impacts, and well, now we'll be playing for the gunfights.
Yeah, really important they got that one open though, so now they can approach it from a few different angles that Xto are going to be forced to pay attention to. Dark has been forced all the way back here, and may have lost his position a little bit, but still has a strong spot, still can defend pretty well, and everyone on his team is alive right now. Smack is trying to change that as hard as he can. We're still also getting shots from below, but this man here, Dark, he sees the drone just sitting there, hopes it's not on. That would be a disaster, but look at this. Just the quick snaps to the corners. The man knows what he's hunting for, but is he listening? It looks like he at least had his eyes open as he sees Mateus just run into his side. Goes down for a swing to get another one, and Dark is hungry as it continues, but eventually he gets shut down. But that's 2 for 1. You'll take that trade any day of the week.
Yeah, that is already quite a hefty amount of damage that has been dealt to the ranks of Skyfire right now. Bit of a drop down is beginning to happen, as right now there might be a bit of a crossfire set up by Jordy as well as Oblivion. So the moment the drop down will happen, this could be huge. This could be a large shutdown here. There's the drop happening. There's the peek out. Already C4 comes out. Archie is low on health, but decides to stick the plan. The player already finds a shot into Oblivion. 3 versus 3. Make it 3 versus 2. Player keeping the hold, keeping an eagle eye right above the side. And well, now it's all down to Mitchie, who needs to clutch this out, but he's barely on any HP, just as I am about out of breath. And well, Smacker is the one to really close it out. But oh my sweet Jesus, Skyfire, not even a single bit of hope is given to Xto.
The reason that there's not much hope being given is that drop was great. They had 3 people compared to, the full team coming out for Xto. They were doing the plant at the same time. They still managed to come in and win a lot of these fights. So, massive, impressive plays from them. That also kind of ties into what I was saying before, where I'm thinking, is this a new Xto getting back on their feet after map 1? Because another one comes out for Skyfire, one that perhaps maybe they shouldn't have got. And let's remember why Xto were even in a position to look like they were winning in the first place, Cthulhu. Dark. Again.
Yeah, Dark got shut down somewhat quickly after he only managed to get the 2 kills. And I say only.
That was great.
That's the thing, though. Only 2 kills, because the round where they did manage to win was fresh off the fact that he managed to get a quad kill total in the round. So him getting that double kill whilst the rest of the team is still kind of tumbling around. I mean, look at that scoreline. Look at all of the amount of kills between all of the players of Xto. Dark is literally the main reason why they were able to break that curse.
I mean, he has almost double the kills of the rest of his team combined. That's kind of...
Yeah, 1 kill away from being in double. Yes, correct.
Yeah. So Dark, sticking to that Jaeger, it's definitely been working. His roaming has actually been top tier so far. So he's certainly pulling his weight in this match. But unfortunately, Skyfire stepping up and shutting down the rest of his team after shutting him down eventually. But here we go. Dark again. He's going to try and go for something a little bit cheeky. But he's got a good little spot, a good little way to retreat if he needs to. Even clearing out some drones too. So still finding value in the start of this round here, but he's just going to back up upstairs. So many ways to retreat for this man.
Yeah, Dark has himself set up on a very good position where he could really quite easily fall back from any position, and well, maybe could deal some even more damage here because right now the rest of Exeter are still setting up some of their defense and some of the rotation. So he's just wasting as much time as he can. Already managed to drain about, well, 50 seconds, but Jigsaw is already on the hunt. About to go in for the swing, reveals his position, so the element of surprise is gone. And Dark, oh, Dark is angry. He wants to get those frags even more. Now he's on a double amount of kills than the rest of his teammates. But that was a very clean headshot, must I say.
And now they have to worry about this. Dark's going to be remaining in the shadows for the rest of the round until he's ready to go and flank the attacking side. Didn't quite pay off enough last time to stop Skyfire, but it was their way back in, so definitely do not count out Exo in this round. I mean, I say that, they've got 5 people. They are ahead right now on the defensive side, so Skyfire could find a way back into this one, but just like last round, it's going to be a challenge for them. This drone, I mean, it didn't even turn, but it might have seen the pixel. Now it sees.
Yeah. Now they know whereabouts is the Jaeger player, and now the Madhound is about to commence. 2 players will be going in for the swing. Goes in for the peek, actually gets 1, gets 2 already as well. That's a triple, and all of the Skyfire lineup is just falling apart. Finally, Mateus is able to shut him down, but so much damage has been already dealt to the point where it's now a 2 versus 4.
Oh, Smacker just turned tail and run. I mean, look, I'd do the same when you go up against Dark. The man has been just single-handedly keeping Exo in the series. That said, 2 people now dropping down. I'm not counting Skyfire out because, well, they won last round somehow. So, Mateus downstairs, actually cutting off the reinforcements, but his position is revealed. So it's all up to Archie right now on the Thatcher. And he's just praying for a few of these shots here. Everyone knows where he is, going for the pre-fires, but misses the last half of those shots. And Mitchie will detonate a C4 in celebration of Exeter getting another round.
And this time, once again, Dark. It's all thanks to Dark. He's literally, at this point, becoming a one-man army. Finally, we did see some more frags, though, from the rest of the Exeter crew, so it's not all over Red Rover just yet. This is definitely going to be a much more competitive scoreline, already comparative to the previous map. So with that said, we are going to be going to CCTV and Cash Room as the final site of the first half of map number 2. And it's looking like maybe Exto might be able to make a return here, but again, if Dark pops off.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's still single-handedly... It feels like it's relying on Dark alone.
It's the Dark show.
You know, the rest of the team is certainly, you know, cleaning up his mess in that last round. But that said, it all starts with him. So if Dark doesn't pop off, do they still get the same results here? He's still on that Jaeger, so we'll still be able to play that roaming style if he can. Roaming's a little interesting when you come to CCTV, of course. The garage is just such a big spot that you need to hold, so obviously all the ADS are going to be sticking around here. Question is, what operator is going to be sticking over there? Probably just going to be Mitchie on that Wamai, so you can pile it up with the magnets. Geordie as well, a lot of pests around downstairs. Like, no one is going to be able to find Dark if he keeps this up.
5 seconds left.
Now look, bit of an odd time here for Exto.
Attackers are moving out to
After
locate a bomb and defuse.
the conclusion that was the first map, but I am certainly still feeling a little bit shocked at that scoreline. Maybe we shall be seeing something different. Setup-wise, everything is fine on the Exto roster. They have all the right utility, all the right things. It's just seeming to be just either unfortunate timings or unfortunate gunfights that seem to be plaguing them. Smacker already opens up the very same hole where he was able to find one of the frags on the rafters, so he should still be able to assert dominance there. Apart from that, really, for Skyfire, as for the rest of the roster, they need to just get the breaches done, and well, they sure do. Selmas do exactly that very thing, and well, now they have a very clear entry right onto side, but there is a ballistic shield on that rotation hole into rafters, which could be the biggest nuisance here to deal with.
Yeah, they also got the spot onto the Wamai sitting on the rafters as well, so Mitchie could be in a little bit of trouble if they do go for pre-fires, although Sawyer actually taken out on the red stairs, so this could be a big problem now, because the smoke is gone. They have full control of that side, that entire angle now, if they can get up there and either muscle their way in or force out whoever is currently replacing the smoke. But yeah, no way to run down the clock at the end. Not anymore.
Yeah, Already Michi has managed to fall back to a bit more of a safer position, although now he will be pinned down right at the prone position. And there is actually still presence in the gym, but Mateus is completely unaware of that. Doesn't have any more air jabs as well, but Jigsaw doesn't care about that. Michi is off the board, and so is the Jackal, or rather Bandit. And it's Dark, once again, making a return. Jordy and Dark will be the last men standing, as now
Defender is approaching
3
kill
players
zone.
of
Defender
Skyfire, or rather Exto, are dead. C4 attempt will be there, but to no avail. Dark, once again, finding a double kill. Tries to go for another one. That's a triple. 1v2 situation, but so little health remaining. Dark already on 13 kills as well. He needs to find all the frags here. Another swing. Jigsaw is just the better player. Oh my goodness, that is a swing and a half. And just like that, Skyfire continues styling on Exto Gaming. Oh, mommy.
A good call on that one, though, to go for the bait, because he had the ping on him. They knew exactly where he was sitting, so they would have easily been able to deny that plant. But you look at it, and of course, like you said, Jigsaw just able to make the swing happen as well. That's the second part, and he had it in spades. Not to mention the rest of his team also cleaning up everyone on Exo to even just put them in the good position. Dark, yet again, was kind of the almost saving grace to get back into it, but it still wasn't enough.
Yeah. Look, for what it's worth, I do wish all my condolences to Dark here for doing all his best, but unable to succeed, really.
Attackers
Yeah,
need to
look,
locate
sometimes-
and defuse bombs.
Well, partially it's that. Partially, you gotta give props to Skyfire for being able to do what they do right now and being that dominant. So it's not only us harping on some of the unfortunate circumstances for Exto, it's also the fact that it's just Skyfire seeming to be just full-blown activated right now, really.
Oh, look, sometimes you just have a rough match, and sometimes the other team also shows up. So
Yeah.
Skyfire have certainly come in to show up, and they're obviously showing why, Exto already getting more round wins than the last map, so that's a great start for sure. It's looking a little bit better, but Skyfire are just totally in control of this, and now we're putting them on defense. So this is a side that a lot of teams seem to favor, and so they get to enter this half with an advantage. They're on the 4-2 side.
Yeah, that is another thing to really mention as well. Not only that they are the ones now starting on the defense, Skyfire, and they had a pretty dominant performance there, they have the 2-point advantage here, which should definitely put a little bit more pressure onto Exto, but I don't think at this point really Exto feel any pressure, just because they're just trying to just have fun, and well, Dark is certainly enjoying some of the frags that he's getting.
Oh, Dark's having a blast. Dark's having a great time. The big door is now open pretty easily, I might add, as well. And now the way is inside, but of course it's guarded by 5 very angry members of Skyfire right now. So it's not just as simple as walking into the garage, walking into the door just like it is for Mordor. So Sawyer is going on a pretty big rotator around here. We'll just come up here and try to plant his way inside. Geordie, though, this man has had some pretty good rounds, but needs to step it up here to bring it to Skyfire, who are just playing incredible right now. Of course, we watched Dark on the Jaeger last time. This time it's Jigsaw's turn.
I mean, Jigsaw did some fantastic job.
Did he miss that?
Curious. Okay. There we go. Okay. So we got rid of one of the Malusi charges finally. But now Dark's position has been showcased here. They know that there is some presence, and off he goes. Archie off with Dark's head. And, well, now Exo might be at a little bit of a difficulty there, because, well, that's their top fragger now, going off the board.
Yeah, they really needed that way to get back in. Obviously, that would have been a really good position to hold as well. Geordie has a really good little murder hole here, but doesn't get the advantage out of it, and so has to just run away from it. Otherwise, it could be used against him. Jigsaw is going to get reported for AFK if he sits here any longer, but he's been waiting for so long to go and grab that flank, and we're hitting that time where he's about to leave.
Ooh, right now, Geordie actually showcased his position exactly where he could be, completely unknowing about the positioning of Jigsaw, and well, will be punished directly for that. Meanwhile, full control of the Raptors has been established, but nowhere else, because Smaka is there to apply even more pressure on Oblivion. No presence in the garage of the defenders, and oh, there's the push towards the red stairs, but RG is still there, fully healthy, maybe hoping to find the shot onto Michi, who is quite tagged up, gotta say.
Archie's currently holding down two different lines very well. Sawyer's trying to find his way in, and yet just takes a whole lot of damage in return. The clock is just about to run out, so we're gonna see the Russian come out from EXO and obviously meeting their doom against an already very ready Skyfire.
Yeah, just like that. Yet another round for Skyfire to take, and that was a very dominant performance from them, which means they're only a single round away from the match point, which could be a very quick ending to map number 2 if that will be the case, because I don't think if after the fact Skyfire get themselves a match point, I don't think there will be a whole lot of struggle remaining in Exeter, unfortunately.
Yeah.
As much as I hate to say it, unfortunately, this is one of the rougher days here for Exeter.
Yeah, you never count a team out at all, for sure, but I think if Skyfire takes this around, like you were saying, grabs that match point, then yeah, it feels like there's not going to be a whole lot to stop them. But, you know, Exeter are going to have a bit of a thinker about how to take this next round, and well, yeah, that's the pun, it's thinker.
I mean, that was a pretty well timed one, Smite, but look, Jordy on a machine gun with a buffed up ADS and no recoil, count me in. I'm definitely keen to see if that will be the successful play here. Maybe it will, maybe not. Well, time will tell. At the very least, Jordy will have some frag grenades as well.
Do you think perhaps it's even showing signs of desperation at this point, where
I think they're way past the desperation here, Smite. They're just here to attempt to just enjoy the game, really.
5 seconds left before
but who enjoys playing thinker?
Half the Siege community would like to know your location.
I suppose. The big gun, I guess. But Jordy gets to play with that big gun this game, so to keep his team away from facing down that match point on Exto, they need to make this attack happen, and they need to make it happen now. Otherwise, it's looking incredibly grim. It's Church and Arsenal is going to be the site that they're attacking here, and off we go here. Sawyer going to go in for the first breach. Should be no real problem on that one. Just going to drop down the exothermic charge, and here's the big man, Jordy. He's going to make that big gun work.
And we're still waiting for the big Daka to commence by Jordy, who's currently still also has 2 of the drones as well, to see if maybe he can spot someone out before going down. That grenade a little bit close. The shrapnel won't be hitting him at all, so that's already a relieving thing to hear. But he took a little bit of a damage to a pre-fire. Needs to buff himself up to go in for the play, but it's a C4 that will be ending him. Smacker, fantastic read and a C4 as well. We'll be seeing Jordy out. No frag grenades, actually single frag grenade and no buffs, no gun ammo will be used up. So clearly they're preserving the economy, I suppose. But oh, the damage is being drained. Michi taking so much damage from that smoke grenade. That is already putting him at a quite a disadvantageous position.
He's kind of made them think he's moved as well by lying down, but he's still alive, but completely on a lockdown. Harder than level 4 in New Zealand, and he's not going to be making out of it anytime soon for now. This could be Exto Gaming to come back in, but like always, it's going to rely on Dark on that Ash. No Thinker to buff him up this time. Mechi swings in and gets Smacker to avenge his teammate. Smoke goes down too. Here's the Exto push. They're looking to survive. Dark on a slither of health, finding his opponent with the Ash, but no, the C4 will rip his feet off, and no, Exto will come back into this one somehow anyway, with Michi and Sawyer grabbing their kills, all while the plant was baited out.
There we go. Exto do manage to rock away with just yet another round. 2-round difference, actually, right now between the two teams, as this is promising to be a bit closer than it was on the map number 1. Maybe we shall be seeing yet another round to come out from Exto, but for the time being, it is going to be Church to be picked here by Skyfire to retry it once again, because that was seeming to be through and through Skyfire's round to take, but a few misreads and a few misplays, namely from Smoke, kind of ended up resulting in a demise and a loss of Arsenal.
Gotta send out a little bit of respect over to Mitchie though, who was in a really tough position. I called him not getting out of it, and he had basically no health and still managed to swing on out and be there and even save the round at the end. So it was part of the solution. So definitely coming back into it. It's not 100% the Dark Show. Even if you look at the frags, and I think he's he's not quite 3 times the amount of kills just yet. But what is that? Yeah, okay, he's not double either. Damn.
Yeah, slowly creeping up to the same amount of
But 15
frags. But yeah, 15-7. Dark is certainly doing his absolute best to just try to keep on swinging and keep on keep the dream alive, for at the very least playing for the upset. Whereas for Skyfire, look, they feeling pretty confident here already. They've gone for a few really good reads. Smacker, namely with the C4s, Jigsaw with some of the swings, certainly has been feeling it quite well. Same goes for Archie. The man has been actually fairly consistent for the most of the time on the smoke and the SMG-11 plays. This time did prompt to switch over to the Goyo that was actually mained by player in the previous map.
Yeah, the Goyo is actually kind of interesting too, but here's Geordie to see if he can get the first breach going off. Actually seeing if he can get a frag. He's just a few pixels off. Those leans could have saved Smacker's life there, but now he's aware, and now he can adapt. He can sit up here, be ready. He's got 2 impacts ready to interrupt any kind of breaching. There's the first one, but Geordie trying to call him out on it, trying to see if he can bait him for the kill, but no cigar just yet.
Located by attackers.
Dark, meanwhile, just decides to, well, do the Dark thing, then potentially could just go in for the drop down through the hatch and just start murdering everyone. Man seems to be pretty on fire right now with his aim, and well, all Archie is about to see with through the slit of the shield the push of an ace, but that is until the ace decides to go in for the swing. He has a slight suspicion that there might be a play involved here, but gets a little bit anxious there, and will be punished very quickly there. Geordie, fantastic patience there, just enough to beat out one of the players, and well, now has full control of the dirt tunnel as well, gotta say, and that is a whole lot of people actually peeking him. Oh my goodness, actually forces him to fall back, and Smacker reclaims dirt tunnel out of literally nothing.
Somehow they get it back. They had the Vulcan shield as well to force him back even further. So even if Archie dies, that's still going to be his contribution to the fight. Geordie still trying to make this one work. He almost single-handedly saves the round there for Exto. Maybe even will control this position, drawing the attention away. Remember, that's one person now not on somewhere else. Jigsaw has found Mitchie, and that's the Zofia now off the board. Sawyer is so close to the site. Player just around the corner. They drew his attention, but it's a trade across the sides with player, and Sawyer will fall. They've got the diffuser as well, so that's no problem. But 3v3 here, Cthulhu. Dark's now on site after that swing, after that push. But Jigsaw's got it. 3 very small holes here, ready to just fire on anyone that appears on the other side. But he knows someone's trying to play dirty on him, but no, he walks into the pre-fire. He walks into the pre-fire.
At the very least, there is a trade-off by Geordie to Jigsaw and the frag out by Mateus as well. The plant is starting to go down, so technically Geordie just needs to start covering. There is the full control of the blue tunnel, but Oblivion, Oblivion will be the last man standing as Smacker does go in for the flank around. But the diffuser has been planted, so now the timer will be running against the defense, and the push needs to be done now and reclaimed by the defense. And just the swing like that. Smacker, a double kill, a win. And well, diffuser will be handed in very nicely down by Skyfire, as this will be their match point.
Smack is absolutely stoked about that one. Turns out team damage doesn't cancel disabling the diffuser.
Good to know.
Yeah, this is pretty good to know, you know. You can throw a smoke grenade on it and, completely deny it. But hey, look, there you go. That is now Skyfire on match point, swinging that round back into their favor. It looked like that could have been Exto's way back in, but now they're facing down the at least overtime, if not just a flat-out win here. They've got 3 wins in a row to face it down. Skyfire have put them in a tricky position. It's not quite as bad as it was back on Coastline, but this is still a pretty tough position to be in.
Yeah, this is a rough situation. Exto almost looking like they just might be able to bring it back. Seem to be just trying to change a few things around, but in Skyfire's camp, everything is staying pretty stable. Few changes though will be happening. It's a pick of a Mozzie
Attackers need to
for
locate
the
and defuse
upstairs
as many
hold, and
bombs
rightfully
as they
so.
can.
Mozzie will probably be a little bit of a better decision comparative to, say, a Warrior for this setup, or rather the setup that they are going for, which is a little bit more of a roam heavy. Some off-site plays could be done. Once again, this could be Player or Jigsaw that could be going for some of the off-site plays, whereas the rest of the roster seeming to be just setting up for just on-site hunker down. That is about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because they have not brought
10 seconds left before
but
insertion.
suppose we'll have to see how that does turn out.
I mean,
Oh,
where
hang
would
on,
you
sorry,
even
mate.
bring in the castle here? Because not a whole lot of positions that would drain a whole lot of
Moving out to
utility
locate a
though.
bomb
I'll tell you why before you tell me why.
Uh-huh.
It's because I thought we were on another side.
Right.
Don't worry,
That's
don't
fair.
worry.
Understandable. Have a nice day. Well, who's also going to be having a nice day, that's Jigsaw's Spawn Being that will be dealing quite some damage to Oblivion. Unfortunately for Jigsaw though, won't be the kill, but I think he still be quite settled with the quick and easy damage to Mr. Oblivion.
Yeah, the thing about Thatcher though is he can sit pretty far back and stay pretty safe. He's kind of low on health, but obviously he's already done his job basically now by opening that door. So after this, it's really just getting these shots down. You can support your team pretty well, and honestly, losing that much health, it's good because it's for free for Skyfire. They're pretty stoked about it. It's not super game changing. Here is where the game changes. Though, is Geordie getting some shots through the wall, but Player survives, and this could be huge if he takes his life, for sure. Definitely want to catch up on how that goes, because look at Player. He's got the backup of Jigsaw. You got Smacker down the hallway as well. This is a pretty extended out hold here by the three players, by three very quick operators, I might add. Although, you know, Jaeger not so much.
Well, talking about the fast operators, Dark is actually really tempted to go in for the swing, but oh, gets swung upon instead by Archie once again. Seems that it's been completely shut down, any kind of a intention to really find success with the plays. There we go. There's the play, and Mateus about to get pressured very quickly here by some of these grenades, but the ADS is back into play. I think the EMP effect has worn off, but this actually, the sheer amount of smoke grenades that were drained out here actually could potentially be knocked off, but what will be knocked off is once again the head of Geordie. That is a pixel angle that Smacker was playing.
Mitchie, I mean, he was pretty keen on that one. Not knowing that there was still some ADS left. The more flashes are coming out. Look at how much time Skyfire are making them spend on dealing with one player. Always so annoying to get rid of this guy in the rafters.
That's a
one
grenade.
more will maybe do it, but there is still the ADS to back him up right now, and they are looking for anyone to flank because they are still trying to deal with this one guy. They're still trying to deal with poor old Mateus here. Smacker backing him up as well. They can't run up the stairs. They can't run up and flush him out. They have to approach from another way because this is what happens. Oblivion eventually gets Archie, but Smacker has found Mitchie, and Sawyer's forced out of there. They can't do it, and they have to leave the garage.
Yeah, with 24 seconds remaining, this is a do or die situation here. No more mistakes can be done here. Oblivion finds a kill, but will get traded out pretty quickly. It's a 3v1 situation with 14 seconds remaining. Sawyer, half health, needs to find those frags because he no longer has the diffuser and, well, no longer the life. It's the GG. Well played as Skyfire take the 2-0 and force Exto out of their 4th position.
Yeah, repeating history again after Season 2. They did it. Season 3, they come in and 2-0 them during the round robin again. Exto must hate these guys, but Skyfire come in and just get a very dominant 2-0. The leaderboard is going to look oh so interesting right now. I'm real keen to see exactly how they are going to be doing throughout the rest of the season, because I think that while it doesn't quite guarantee them playoffs, it puts them in a really good spot. Banson Elemental going to find it way harder to catch up to them for now, whereas, well, poor Exto, now in the 5th place spot, they've got to fend off them. At least they're 3 points ahead of them, though.
Yeah, at the very least, they have the point advantage, so they might be sitting a little bit more comfier, but still, missing out on so much points, and the fact that you are missing out on the playoffs as well, is certainly one of those things that is that's still gonna sting for Exto, which is quite an unfortunate situation.
Yeah, and they know that there's only 4 slots in there and 5 teams that are very likely to try and squeeze their way in. So definitely look out for Exto in the coming weeks because their matches are going to be probably the most important to know the results of, but also Skyfire to see how long they can stick around in that playoff position. However, that's all our matches today, Cthulhu. I mean, not quite in the fashion I thought that we were going to have them.
Look, we got some closer matches really yesterday, and it seems that today was really just the gamble of who was much more prepared for their opponent's map picks. Rufflecopter showed us a phenomenal gameplay, really, and got themselves a 2-0. Same goes actually for Skyfire. They were even more so prepared than Exto. And for Exto, well, unfortunately, it's back to the drawing board here. But at the very least, they're not yet facing the relegation bracket.
Yeah, the good news is I don't believe anyone is officially eliminated yet. So everyone could be able to come back on into it. So 3 weeks to go of the round robin. So definitely make sure you're going to be coming in for the rest of these games because they mean a lot. But with that all done for us today, we're going to shout out our sponsors, of course, Vodafone, Sky City, Conquer, WD Black, Extrafy, and of course, Red Bull for joining the party as well as the Esports Assessment Lab. Shout out to these guys for helping LPL Pro Season 3 happen. But guys, we're going to be back next week with more of the round robin stage to find out exactly how that leaderboard's going to look by playoffs.
It's all down to Mitchie to try to deny that. He's not able to deny the plant red. He's able to run down the time.
Here it stops again. 1 kill already done. Next kill already done. Numbers do usually win out, so they are going to pick it up and through the wall.
Camera in position!
Get behind me!